If you're interested in hearing a dramatic reading of these books by yours truly, then you can head behind the Patreon
And mine
paywall.
truly.
Let me
And
just-
Jacob's.
yeah,
I want to do the
start
next
over,
one.
Yeah.
If
Or
you're,
not the next one, the one after.
if you're interested in hearing a dramatic reading from the three of us of this book and also getting a video version of the podcast, you can just head over to the Astrogoblin Patreon, where both are available, along with all types of other goodies.
Ooh, baby.
The end.
Last night,
I sat down to read a book I was excited to read, and then I got a text from Charlotte about Dagobot Tech, and I thought it was from a video I just watched.
No,
It was not.
If
It's from
only.
Mission from Mount Yoda. She said,
the book we're reading.
yeah, and then I realized at 9:30, fuck, I have to read Mission from Mount
Yeah.
Yoda right now.
Yep.
which I texted you
Blast through
that
it.
one because I was also sitting down to read a book that I actually really wanted to read, and then remembered I had to read Mission from Mount Yoda, and two,
Yeah.
because I knew you hadn't.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
a very purposeful
planted.
text.
Well,
I
it's
didn't want
been-
to. I didn't want to insult you by coming straight out and saying, "Did you read the book?" So instead, I made a pointed
Right.
reference to it.
Yeah.
That if you understood it, you would have happily replied with
Uh-huh.
something about how stupid Ganooks are,
Ganooks are so dumb.
or the importance
Festa
of
beetles.
homework and Saza beetles or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Fefsa.
Fefsa.
Right? Fefsa?
Fafs.
Remember the one at
Fefsa
Trioculus?
beetles.
He wants to hunt them because he was so angry.
Oh!
They brought them back. That's some good
Yeah.
reincorporation there. We'll get into it.
But no
the other?
zoochberries.
Saluctopus or
Septipus. Yeah.
Septipus.
Let me
We'll,
read this intro.
we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Salusa secupitipus.
Jacob, you're gonna get us into this?
Yes, I'm going to get us into this.
All right.
A dark time for the rebellion it is. Although in Carbonite, Trioculus is scheming is Grand Moff Hissa to rescue. A nefarious plot this is, but Mon Mothma's favorite janitor, Luke Skywalker, has received a mince shin from Mount Yoda. So on vacation with his friends he goes. Galactic Book Club, this is.
I've got a bad feeling about this. I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad feeling about this. I've got a bad
Feeling about this.
feeling about this.
Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah, wow, Mitch, looking stony.
Get him out
Back
of here.
looks stony as hell. This is Mission from Mount Yoda, book 4 of the Jedi Prince novels, and it is one of the most violent novels I've ever read.
It is gruesome.
Not even close for me, but it is very violent, especially for a Star Wars young adult
This
novel.
one is weirdly violent. Also, not a lot happens in it.
Yeah,
Who'da thunk?
this one's a nothing.
Well, it's a nothing, but it's not. It's not as nothing as
As the second one.
yeah.
This has some pretty pivotal, like, characters
Yeah.
introduced in
Some
it.
important
think-
introductions.
Yeah.
Some stuff about this makes me think it's the most competent.
It actually did
Yeah.
have
Of
me engaged at some points, but
Uh-huh.
also it didn't.
It's still got a lot of its Jedi Prince hallmarks, though.
Yes, it's got that
Yeah.
Hollis and Paul stink on it.
Yeah, like
I
it's got
think-
vehicles, specific vehicles.
It's got things that are dome shaped,
Yeah.
It's got acronyms,
Arrow-shaped
mentions of
droids.
Y-wings. Yes.
a dumb poem.
Yeah, it's a character that speaks in poems, not
Yeah,
rhyme.
that was.
Not right.
It
well,
was like
sometimes
a
they
slant
do rhyme.
rhyme.
Though. Sometimes
Yeah.
they rhyme.
Well, I don't know.
Sometimes
Which are we talking
accidentally.
about? Doostangle and Doostini, or are we
No,
talking
no,
about
No, the Duros brothers.
well, they're cousins, but I feel like
The
brothers.
prophet of the dark side.
Oh, Jedgar.
No,
Yeah.
the other one.
Oh, Kadan.
Kadan?
Yeah.
Who's got an addiction to collecting relics?
Yes.
Yes.
But Kadan speaks in poems
in
now,
quatrains.
which I don't remember. Was
He
that?
his prophecies are in quatrains.
Oh,
Just
I don't
the
think he's in this book.
Well, he is.
I thought
Yeah,
it
only
was
the
just
beginning.
talked about. Oh, right.
Remember, he crushes the black chalk.
Right.
I think what it is about this
Okay.
one is it doesn't feel. It's still poorly written. Certainly,
Yes.
it still is oddly structured and everything. But I think it doesn't feel like it was written in a blind panic the way that the others do.
I feel like maybe 3 books deep, they're kind of getting it. They're
Maybe
like,
they-
oh
maybe-
shit, maybe we
yeah.
can write
I
something.
feel like they wrote this one on downers.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
maybe.
okay. It
And
was
the other
drugs.
ones were on.
But like the other
uppers.
ones feel like they were written in an hour and then sent to the publisher and never thought about again.
I don't know.
Except
This one also. I think you are developing an immunity.
maybe a bit. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it didn't feel like I took less notes in this one.
This is
which some of that
also-
is immunity. Like I see an acronym now and it's like
Or whatever. You read a
I
million of
don't
those.
other than like Dracoos or whatever.
Drapac.
Drapac. Yeah.
This is also the one I think I remember the least. This one and the last one, I barely
Drapac.
remember at all.
Okay.
Until I got to the most gruesome scene at the end, and I was like, I remember this.
I was like, surely they're not going to do this. Surely there'll be some. We'll get to it.
They'll get
but
to
there'll
it.
be some use of the
Yeah.
Force or humanity shown on the part of our heroes.
Patrick,
No,
you want to read the
not
back
even-
of the
not
book
even a
there in
little
green?
bit.
Yeah. Is Luke a huge dickhead in the rest of them? I don't remember.
He's kind of he is
He's
more of
kind
a
of just-
dickhead in this
He's
one.
a fucking asshole
Yeah,
in this one.
he's a real jerk.
He's
to
also
Ken.
still a dork.
Anyway, sorry.
He's such a dork.
Yeah.
Kadan, supreme prophet of the dark side, plots to capture and destroy the carbonized body of Trioculus
Spoilers.
and take control.
It's a pretty major
Uh,
development.
huge.
Wait, shouldn't I be reading? Oh no, sorry.
Mission from Mount Yoda, the book we're reading.
Control of the Empire. Meanwhile, the Rebel Alliance races to save the archaeologists of the dying planet Duro, only to discover an incredible mystery in the underground tunnels. A secret that depends on a perilous mission from Mount Yoda.
Da, 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 da. Okay, right off the bat, I have a question.
What's your question? Is it a Star Wars question?
Yeah.
Cool.
Does Dagobah have mountains?
No, I don't think.
It's a
I mean,
swamp
it does
planet.
and is.
It's
Yeah.
a big planet, so it probably has like a couple.
I guess,
So
but
is
it's
the whole planet swamp.
it's
That's
it's
the
only,
thing with Star Wars.
It's
I mean, I
all
know,
defined by
yeah.
swamps and bogs and marshes.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
like there's a. That's the one question, and then the second, which we'll get into, is also Dagobah based.
Yeah.
Is why I know it's because it's a Star Wars planet, and that's what these people who write these books do. But isn't it just like it's just the site of Yoda's exile, like the
Yes.
worst part of his life?
Yeah, and
it's
I don't
like
think
that's
his-
where we got to put spin the Senate Planetary
Intelligence
Insurance Network.
Well, listen, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because nobody knows about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So the
I guess,
rebellion could
yeah.
use that because I guess after all the movies, they decided to stay on Yavin 4 where the Empire knows they are.
yeah, and the
So
Empire.
until they came and burned the
Right.
rainforest down
Yeah,
in the other book.
in the search for the Green Marble Wall.
And we're
Yes,
not-
that's the one.
Well, again, and to Patrick's previous point in other episodes about how everyone knows everything,
Yeah,
Dustini, the
Dustini.
Durees
yeah.
alien,
Duros.
Duros.
just knows that they're there.
Yeah.
like they're
Yes.
like, we had to send someone here
But
to
it's a secret.
Dagobah because we know where Drapak is.
Yeah,
Everyone, yeah, they're just like
Ken
sending
knows about it.
broadcasts.
Is it
Like
Drapac?
they sent a forwarding address.
It's like CPAC.
I'm thinking
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Star
Drapak
Wars.
though, like two rappers,
Sure, yeah.
Dr. Drapak.
I think it's also a thing that Ken read about in the Jedi Library. too.
Jedi Library's mentioned a bunch.
Yeah.
he knows
which
all
is
the
good.
movies.
I feel like Zorba the Hutt's Revenge didn't have as many references to the Jedi Library.
Well, I would
Did
say
it? Maybe it did.
No, that was just Han
no, there was,
Skyhouse, and
there
that's
was
it.
no, there was some stuff because that's where it's talked about like that Ken has information from the Jedi Library that's crucial to taking down the new Empire.
Yeah,
right.
which I think was introduced in that book as well.
Oh my god. I know we'll get to it, but Kendallini?
Kendalina.
Kendalina.
We'll get to it. We'll get to
Kendalina?
it.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I wonder who that could be.
Ugh.
I accidentally skipped a page and it just said like, yeah, Kendalina.
I kind of blew past it because, spoiler alert for later in the podcast, I fell asleep reading this book.
That's happened to me.
I also
recently.
did.
Yeah.
And I woke up and was able to finish it, but like I fell asleep reading the book. And I was very tired and kind of like not taking a lot in at
Yeah.
certain points. I read what is it?
Kendalina.
And just like
Kendalina.
didn't even like nothing registered. It was like it's another stupid fucking name.
It passed
And then
through
it's
your
like
brain, yeah.
Triclops looked at Ken, and then I was like, "Oh, fuck you,
Oh.
fuck you." But well, let's just start at the
Well, let's
beginning.
start at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
First of all, have y'all seen what Dustini looks like?
No.
There he is.
Oh. He looks like Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
Wait,
he's
Or no,
a Duros.
he looks
Oh,
like
yeah. Wait, that's not what a Duros looks like.
It's not. They have way bigger heads
It's
because
just a gray alien.
yeah,
that's
which was
the thing
kinda
is
what Duros look like.
these
Yeah,
people when they
this is less.
create an alien like Baji, the Hodin healer,
Mhm.
or Duri's architects, they look like a 50s like
Well,
Twilight Zone type alien.
The torturer guy is an existing species.
The
I mean,
what
they
guy?
both are. So is the Duro.
Oh, the fiend?
Would you say?
The torture. I was talking about Baji,
Oh, never mind.
the Hodin healer.
Hodin healer,
who was
yeah.
recruited.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
he just
the-
gets shipped off to like a military facility. We
becomes
never
part
hear
of
from
the
him again.
Imperial
I think we'll
Army.
see him again too.
But all I'm
Probably.
saying is that they are such uninspired. Like Star Wars, like
Yeah.
the Cantina. It's some of the
Yeah.
strangest and,
Which there
and
are
most
Duros in
far
in the
out
Cantina.
looking aliens, and these people are like, there's grays and there's greens,
Yep.
and they're all
Yep.
tall and they've got gray
Yeah.
skin.
And they have
I-
snakes for hair.
Ironically, other than the snakes, I think we've got a Defil and a Duros, which were both in the Cantina.
Defil,
Yeah.
the Defil Define,
Yeah, the Defil
and the
Define.
Duros Dustini.
It's the dog guy.
These fucking idiots.
What's his
the
cousin's
dog guy in
name?
the cantina. Oh,
Yeah.
Justangle?
Justini and
Dustangle.
Dustangle. They're more like
Dustangle.
brothers though. They're more like brothers.
Yeah, they're more like brothers.
Yeah.
Chapter 1.
Let's get into it. Let's
Yeah.
get into it.
So it starts on Scardia.
Yeah, Space
right?
Station Scardia, home of the
I
Prophets of
actually
the
read
Dark
the
Side.
first 12 pages 2 weeks ago when we were going to originally
Oh,
record. Actually,
right,
3.
right.
So
3 weeks,
I don't
yeah.
remember really anything of chapter 1 except that the prophets have a book called Secrets of the Dark Side.
Yeah, and also Jedgar can see Bespin through space.
Oh yeah.
He says he peers through space and he sees Bespin.
Oh, well, he's so tall.
Yeah,
He's the
big guy.
tallest
He's
one, so
tall.
he's probably got
He's like
good eyes
7
too.
feet tall,
yeah,
right?
something like that.
But
yeah.
like you said, they have a book called Secrets of the Dark Side.
That's right, which is a handwritten volume clutched by Jedgar as they walk to the Chamber of Dark Visions. They just got to name everything, and then they bend over enough that their beards touch the floor.
Yep.
So I don't know if they have long beards or flexible backs.
Some of them are just
Yeah.
really short.
Yes, some of them are very short.
Some, not
and
all.
they begin to mumble a chant. Dark power to Kadan and the Empire.
Empire.
Dark
very
power
cool.
to Kadan and the Empire.
Yeah.
And it talks about them. They're talking about this curtain. You know what this reminded me of? It reminded me of the throne room at Snoke's throne room in Last Jedi with the
Jedi.
big red curtain.
That's
But he
probably
didn't
where
have
they
a
got the
book called
inspiration.
like Snoke's Evil Plans.
No, he
He
just
probably
had a-
does. I mean, he's probably got one somewhere.
And then he goes. Kadan starts doing his poems, which it tells you what that it is.
Is this pre-chalk or post-chalk?
This is he chalks and then
He
does
chalks,
the poem.
black
He-
chalk this time.
The first thing I highlighted was High Prophet Jedgar was reminded that black was a symbol of victory for the Empire.
So he saw that chalk and he was like,
"Shut up."
He was like, oh yeah,
Right.
Empire.
So
Shoot,
stupid.
I remember.
Yeah. Oh, right.
The way information is conveyed.
Oh, I
feels
just
like
remembered something.
What do you remember?
That,
that
black, is the
means
symbol of
win.
victory.
Is you know how the printed word is a technology,
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that
yeah.
allowed for the development of the modern world.
Yeah.
I feel like
And its destruction.
in its destruction, many
We got to
could
get
say.
rid of it now.
I would say nukes are probably worse. But anyway,
Maybe you
Paul
wouldn't
and
have had
Hollis.
nukes without the written.
Paul and Hollis.
No,
This
of
feels
course
like
not.
a rudimentary technology.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Like they haven't mastered the art of the printed
Oh,
word.
right. Yeah.
you've got
no,
a good
no.
educational line too, which is Kadan spoke in short verses that didn't rhyme. Verses called quatrains, one
Yeah.
exactly 4 lines long.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
where he talks about
So
fucking Trioculus,
stupid.
frozen in carbonite.
You know what's confusing too in the formatting of this book, which maybe it's
Everything?
just the version I have, is that the lines are not like italicized or anything. They're just entered. So it reads, tormented and frozen alive, the three-eyed ruler commands no more. Never shall he receive the dark blessing of the supreme prophet. For a moment there was silence. And I'm like,
Oh,
wait
yeah,
a minute.
yeah.
Sorry, that's just a different
Yeah.
sentence
Yeah.
taking us back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the format. And I've got some weird formatting issues too, but it's been
Whatever.
all right. Yeah. So he
These
does
are
his
not
quatrains.
available on the Kindle store, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
Maybe
Weirdly,
they are,
no.
I don't know.
Let's talk about High Prophet Jedgar's laser pen.
Yep.
Very cool.
No, not a regular
It's
pen.
just nope. It's
This
a
is
laser
a
pen,
science fantasy book.
but
It's
he
a laser
uses
pen.
it
Yeah.
to write like a regular pen.
Yes,
So-
on a blank page made of paper.
Yes.
The only difference is it can take down a Boeing 747 from the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah, correct.
He should
Well,
use it on this
seems
book.
like most things.
highly
can.
And just like
dangerous.
scorch the pages off with his laser.
All
So
right.
he talks about, oh god, this stupid prophecy.
Kadon doesn't like Trioculus anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he
I don't
starts
think
talking
he ever
about
did.
No, but they had a falling out. Kadon is like, okay, he's in Carbonite now. Let's leave him there. He makes some hint to like,
ancient
it's-
relics of Duro.
but he says like, oh, the new ruler of the Empire is the oldest evil guy, or some bullshit.
Yeah, he just makes
right?
up
Well, he
something new.
declares first. He declares himself the true spokesman of all
Yes.
darkness.
Yeah. So
a dark
that's
one of ancient times.
that's
who
what
he
it
says
is.
has to
Yeah.
be.
So he's the new ruler.
Anyway,
Yeah, and then he says as a
whatever.
quatrain, "Bring me Duro relics.
Yep.
I need Duro relics.
Yeah,
Your
so-
emperor commands you."
This is important. Ancient relics of Duro shall you bring to place at my feet and praise me. In this chamber I will destroy all that is good in the force. And then, this is the one. This is the whispered soft prophecy. When the dragon pack, perched upon Yoda's stony back,
That rhymes.
receives a visitor pierced by gold, then comes the last day of the days of the Rebel Alliance.
Very cool, Kadon.
Okay,
So first of all, it does rhyme.
yeah. Chapter 2, the dragon pack on Yoda's back.
There we go.
Hey, we'll find out what that is immediately.
Yes.
And what is the first line of this chapter? But I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
The most
from
say
Han
the line
Solo.
Bart.
Which
They're on vacation.
I hate when this line is used incorrectly.
yeah. Yeah.
When it's supposed to be like very like kind of like there's not like an immediate threat. It's
Right.
pure just like heebie-jeebies.
yeah. Yeah.
And this is he's
And-
looking at a tentacle creature and be like, I have a bad feeling about this.
yes.
It's supposed to be used ironically. I don't remember what kind of like actual like theatrical irony it is, but it's that it precedes something bad that actually does happen.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like ominous foreshadowing.
Yes. Which I tried to see if that was how the line actually was. My notes app has an AI assistant. I was like, sure, fine. And I typed in
Oh yeah.
I have a bad feeling about this Han Solo, and it spit back a fake interaction it made up. So the AI
So
wrote
cool.
Star Wars fanfic where
So
it just
cool.
says,
That's
Luke,
awesome.
Han, do you ever notice that you say like every time we go anywhere? Han, say what? Luke,
Say
I've got
what?
a bad feeling about this. Han, kid, I only say it when I've legitimately got a bad feeling. Not my fault the galaxy keeps giving me bad feelings. So shouts
Okay.
out to the Notion
yeah.
app AI.
Comes up with some good stuff.
Whatever.
Anyway, they're all on vacation.
They're
all
on
our heroes are on
Han.
vacation.
Oh, Han, it's just a septopus.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, she says
Dope.
swimming over.
Also savor this because Princess Leia is she stays home after this little adventure.
Yeah, we're
no,
not
she
gonna
comes. She she comes with them only to stay back behind.
She goes back to the base and then decides to stay behind. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're on vacation for some reason.
Yeah, which the last book ended with Han going, I've got an idea of where to take us when they have to escape
Uh-huh.
Cloud City. And you're like, what's
Yes.
it going to be? Is it going to be Hoth?
It's
Yeah.
not
Or,
this.
like-
No,
No,
it's not.
it's not this. That's the next book.
We don't know how much time has passed though either, right?
It can't have been that
I
long.
have
'cause
no idea.
I kind of skipped the prologue that's the same every time except for the
I do
end,
too,
which
yeah.
might have said so.
Yeah.
Because Trioculus was frozen in carbonite. Maybe that's why they're on
the
vacation.
prologue
so like we
does
won.
have information in the book you're reading.
Yeah, towards
but
the
They
end.
go to Zatrap.
Zatrop.
Yep.
Good old Zatrop, home of the septipuses.
Yeah, and there's this septipus, if you're wondering. It's kind of like an octopus, but it actually has 7 legs.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And this interaction goes on way longer than it should.
Yes, I
Just,
have a,
just kind of nothing.
I have a note here that just says Oaf Han going strong because he's terrified of these septipuses, which are
Yeah.
harmless. And Leia keeps telling him they can't hurt you. And
Yeah.
he's like, tell that to the one that tried to kill me.
Yeah, and like just kind of oh like he's getting in this fight with her, like
yes.
doubling down. And I think I made a note on one of the things that was just fuck you, it happened. because he's just getting so upset, and
He's putting his dukes up because there's a goldfish in this pond he's swimming in.
Yeah,
It says he had a bad habit of turning every conversation with Leia into an argument. Han found it hard to believe that just a few days ago he had been seriously considering marriage.
Awesome. This is, you know what this is? This is the rise of Skywalker of these books.
Maybe.
And that it takes everything that the last book is setting up and says, that doesn't fucking matter. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But there's still
Like-
2 books.
But there's still
Yeah,
2
yeah.
books left, and marriage does come back up. But I included a photo of Uncle Rico in my notes, and I
Good,
said the
good.
Uncle Rico-fication of Han Solo continues.
Oh,
he
Uncle
just
Rico is
in White Lotus.
White Lotus. I
Yeah,
didn't
he's
realize-
great.
I didn't put that
Really?
Yeah,
together.
John
That's
Grease.
awesome.
Yeah,
He's really good.
I didn't
He's,
put it together.
he's
That
the
was him.
only person in all 3 seasons.
So far, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the C-3PO of White Lotus.
He is
Yeah.
the C-3PO of
Yeah,
White
in many
Lotus. Yeah,
ways.
he knows
That's
so
really
many
cool.
languages.
But yeah, Han's
But he's just such a loser. He's such a loser.
He's
like,
scared of small creatures.
Yeah, but
doesn't
he
wanna go on
also needs to make
adventures.
sure that everyone knows that he will fight it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. He doesn't really do much.
Oh yeah, Han challenged? Yeah, Leia insisted.
So everybody's here. Like Chip and Kate are also here.
Yeah,
I forgot
Kate-
about Kate. She's
Kate's
barely
like
mentioned.
the maid,
Well,
but
they
they brought her.
yeah, but
leave her at
Jetpack
home.
has some of the best
lubrication
lubrication stations.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's yes.
And speaking of Drapak, but kind of indirectly, we get our first. It's a long name for a vehicle that doesn't end up being an acronym.
Oh God, yeah.
The Imperial Single Trooper Compact Assault Vehicle,
So crazy.
which would be an ISTCAS.
Which they just
if they were brave enough.
find,
and they
right?
keep calling it a compact assault vehicle.
Yeah,
Like,
they
could just
find
call
it.
a cav.
Yeah, but they don't. They decide
Actually,
not
they
to.
do. They do once or twice. One trooper in a cav can control.
Oh, they
a
do
lot
call
of
it a
territory.
cav. Oh yeah, I have that highlighted.
So
What do
they
they-
find this thing on their vacation planet?
Yes. Which is a picture where Han is standing there in very tiny shorts looking at it.
Wait, let me see this.
Whoa,
Holy
it's
shit!
like Baywatch.
I know. This is right after the Septipus situation. But yeah, they find like a tiny little tank.
Yeah, Imperial single trooper
How did they find it?
compact
They
assault
just
vehicle.
find it.
It's just there, right? Like, I don't remember.
I think R2 finds it. He says, "Tzbnooch
Right,
bzee
yeah.
zoop."
there's
yeah.
some crazy R2 stuff.
But
And
there's
then,
they see the letters SSS, like scratched onto it or something, and I think it's Ken is immediately
Space
like
Station.
Station
Scardia.
Scardia.
I read about it in the Jedi Library. Shut up, Ken.
Wow.
Yeah, so there.
Also, like they're like they see this thing, and Luke's like, "Come on, Chewie, let's go check it out." And Ken's
Yep.
like, "I'm coming too." And Han's like, "Me too." They leave Leia behind
Yeah.
alone.
She says
Yep.
no.
The
She
droids.
wants to swim.
Yeah.
They go in and they find immediately a dead trooper.
A corpse.
Yeah.
Or no, he's not there. They wonder if the missing trooper is dead.
Yeah.
I think they find his pack.
Yeah,
find
yeah,
all his
they find
stuff.
Yeah,
His
maybe he
golden knife.
took a swim past the reefs, and then Han, making sure that seeing an opportunity to still not let anything go, says maybe he was eaten by a septopus.
Yep.
The
Shut
type
up.
that
She's not
it-
even around.
the
She's not
type
even
that-
with you. You're still just being a petty dickhead.
Can you believe she was being such a bitch back there,
Yeah.
Luke, and talking to the
And they're just
12-year-old?
like, what?
She's sitting in a pool by herself with a bunch of droids just
catching
watching.
strays. Well, the
That
droids aren't in
septopus
the
probably
pool.
came back.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, the droids are
You
in
know
the
what I'm talking
shades.
little tentacle stuff.
Oh yeah, maybe. That's
So
probably
the-
in one of the other books.
this-
But
It
the
is.
droids are in the shade
is.
because they don't want their circuits getting baked,
Yes.
Yeah.
A thing that can happen.
Yeah.
which doesn't happen on Tatooine where Droid Fest is.
He does have
I
that
think
oil
they-
bath. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah. I think he complains about his
Sand
joints,
in his
but, yeah.
in his servos
It's not the
probably.
heat.
Yeah, it's the sand.
The
Of course,
sand.
rough,
Big
irritating.
old
Of course, yeah, it gets everywhere.
So this something weird happens with this book is they find this stuff and it introduces a red herring for no reason.
yeah,
the knife,
The knife,
The
a golden
golden
knife. Because what was the quatrain?
pierced by gold,
Yeah,
Yeah.
A visitor pierced by gold will
Yes.
visit Drapak.
and they find the knife, and later they're talking through the prophecy, which is delivered to them, and Luke holds up a knife and basically goes, "Huh, I wonder if someone's gonna get stabbed."
yeah.
It introduces a pointless red herring.
I know it means nothing. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't lead me down any other because so quickly the thing that actually happens just happens.
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yes, and
oh.
either way,
All right.
it wouldn't have mattered because it actually doesn't really have any bearing
There's no-
other than
yeah.
showing that the prophecy is continuing.
There's no tension around this golden knight. At
No.
no point is there a threat of someone getting stabbed by. We're like, oh, it's gonna. This is what happened. And then
Not at all.
No, it's just around.
It's just
Yeah.
Luke holding it and go,
Yeah.
I wonder if someone's gonna get pierced with this.
So they find the tank, they find the knife, and does it have anything else? Space Station Scardia?
Well, it just tells us that Ken knows about it because of you're not gonna believe this, but he knew about it from a master computer file in the library of the Lost City of the Jedi.
Right,
Yeah.
of course.
That's how he knows about Space Station Scardia.
yeah,
There's
I-
also a combat service medal and personal hygiene kit.
of course.
Don't
Oh.
really come up, but
Yeah.
they can't just find the knife.
Right.
And
This
is this
is a-
Dragon Pack?
Drapack.
Drapack.
Drapack?
Right,
about it?
but Dragon Pack on Yoda's back.
That's Drapack.
That's Drapack.
What?
Are you
They
serious?
Say that. They say it in the book.
I don't
Also,
remember what's in
Drapack.
the book. But why would Drapack mean Dragon
Because
Pack?
it sounds kind of the
no,
same.
but it's
That's
but it's,
literally what they say.
that's crazy.
I think Luke says
Yeah.
Drapack. That sounds like Dragon Pack.
yeah.
I think when I read that, I was like, well,
And I
surely
didn't
it
need Luke
can't
to
be
tell me
that.
No, yeah, it's like okay, that's obviously the Dragon
I
Pack.
should
It
should
sounds
have
like a.
given Paul and Hollis their flowers to write
Yeah.
something so
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
It sounds like Luke needs to send you to school, like he's doing to Ken.
Oh, do I have to go to school, Luke
So- We
Skywalker?
find out Luke is going to force Ken to go to school after
Something-
deciding to take him on adventures.
Something he never did.
No.
Luke didn't go to
Well, he
school.
wanted to, but he had to work on
He
that
didn't.
moisture farm.
And also, that was the Imperial Flight Academy.
Yeah.
That wasn't school.
He
That was
would've been a
learning to
TIE
be
fighter pilot,
Yeah. He wanted to go with his friends and then defect.
Yes.
Like actual cool shit.
What's-
He wants Ken to go learn about like numbers.
At what school?
Dagobah Tech.
That's right.
It's like where they send all the like weirdest kids you go to high school.
Yep.
They're like
Yep.
wartime children.
The smart but strange children.
Yes, I think one of the things working most against trades in the U.S. is the kind of kids you know that go to the trade school.
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
it's valuable and necessary skills and intricate and complex, but also like the kid that won't stop starting fires gets on a
Yeah.
different
Yeah,
bus
yeah,
in the
yeah.
afternood to
Yeah.
go to Dagobah Tech.
I did highlight the.
But also, isn't tech like MIT? I
Yeah,
also
it
think of it
sounds
as
like-
a very prestigious. I think it's both.
I think of it as yeah.
I think that's what they were
suppose so.
going
It's
for.
like a trade. It might be a trade school. It might be like
I think of it
one of
like
the
yeah,
top
like,
Ken's
schools.
going to the best of the best.
to learn
yeah.
HVAC
Free
repair.
ride.
Right, because Luke is a janitor.
That's, it actually makes way more
fixes
sense.
doors
Yeah.
and stuff.
It probably
wanted-
is like
I
a
wanted-
community and a career college.
I wanted
I,
nothing more than to learn general contracting.
I did highlight this line that annoyed me where it has a Yoda quote, but also explains the quote before it's actually said.
Great.
Too.
It says, besides, Yoda taught me that even though you may be able to glimpse the future through the Force, the future can change before it arrives. He said, always in motion is the future.
Yep.
Just say that!
Yeah, that's all you
Just
need to
say
say.
that!
That's all you need to say.
I didn't realize that was a line from Yoda.
I should have been, I think, a plumber.
You should have been?
Yeah, I don't think I should be in the content game. I
You'd
think
probably
no
be
pipes?
doing better.
I would definitely would.
I've had
amazingly,
plumbers have to
yeah.
come out to my place twice. So that's,
Yeah.
that's the thing is if you're a plumber, you don't have to fix it the first time.
Especially if
because
you
those dumbasses aren't going to know what's wrong with the
Especially if you
pipes.
start your own business.
Yeah.
If you're like your own plumber, you know.
I mean,
Making those big bucks, that cheddar
Yeah.
cheese.
we could open a plumbing arm of Astrogoblin.
I guess we could.
Maybe that's why Luke is doing it.
I mean, that's what my whole family is on my dad's side. So like, I feel like I.
Oh, you have a line of plumbers and you
Are you
ended it?
rebelling?
No, my dad rebelled.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Son of a rebel.
And now I'm just the victim of that rebellion. I have to have some stupid fucking content YouTube job. I had to learn how to use Premiere Pro when I could
Yep.
just be like doing pipe stuff.
Well, hey, if it makes
Just
you feel
blasting
better,
pipes.
sometimes when you've gotten down to hook up cables, your crack is showing.
I mean, thank you.
Yeah, you
Thank
got, you.
you.
got the shape
You've
for
got
it.
the genetics.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I will
the
say
narrow hips that wiggle out of bird dogs.
when I got rid of the bird dogs. Okay, these are Gary's or Jerry.
There we
I
go.
don't know.
There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
We should sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I've just been fixing some plumbing around the house lately, and
Oh,
when I go
nice.
to do it, I tap in.
So you have
my eyes
recreational
go in the back of my
plumbing.
head.
Yeah,
You do it for fun.
I do it for
Dat.
fun. Yeah.
So speaking, no, this is the opposite of fun, but Drapack.
Yeah.
Dragon. I can't believe that. I think when it
I
was
can't
said,
believe you missed it.
I think when it was said, I was like, yeah, I guess. I'm looking forward to finding out what it actually means.
It's like the chapter after Dragon Pack is mentioned. The fortress was Drapack, short for the Defense Research and Planetary Assistance Center. Drapack was also the site of Dagobah Tech, the Rebel Alliance school where Ken was about to be in classes. Isn't that fun?
No.
They had to keep this kid relatable. It's
Yeah.
like, because we're reading it, we're in school, we don't want to
Yeah,
be
we're
there.
kids.
We want to
Yeah,
go on
we all
adventures
have to
with
go to
Luke.
college.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Well, how did Mount Yoda get its name? Ken asks.
Well, they used to call it Mount Dagger, I guess.
Yep.
Sure.
After
Who?
Yoda died, it seemed
No one lives on this fucking planet.
It
It's
is-
like
yeah, it is the
Yoda and swamp
self-exile.
creatures. It's not. No one lives here. I think.
It's like if, think about the place where you spent the worst part of your life.
Yeah,
And then after you die, someone goes there and names a mountain after
your friends
you.
come
Yeah.
and find
What
it.
does that mean? It's like when I lived in a garage in Alhambra and someone goes and it's like, this is Charlotte Mountain.
Yeah. Like, no, I don't want to be remembered.
This
for this
sucked. This
Yeah.
is a bad part of my
Yeah.
Yeah,
life.
they decided to name it after Yoda in his memory, since this is where he lived.
Don't name the basement apartment at the Kensington after me. I don't want that. There's a horror. There are mice everywhere. It's so many mice.
What was once 2035 North 18th Street is now Charlotte Boulevard.
Yay! Slave Lord Boulevard. So they're there. 3PO's talking about it. He talks about how they droids never have to do dirty
Well,
work.
you're saying you don't have to
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to worry about being taken apart
Yeah.
when you're at Dagobah
Yeah.
Tech. In fact, they have some really great facilities, and he's looking forward to a soothing oil and lube job.
Yeah,
Hell yeah!
they're gonna lubes. That's when they lube up C-3PO and stick him in a fucking big dragon's hole.
Yeah. He gets an oil
Dragon.
bath in A New Hope too.
Yeah, he
Loves it.
does. Yeah.
This oil bath is going to feel so good.
A dragon's hole, draw hole.
They bring up Imperial ion cannons. These books are obsessed with ion cannons
Yeah.
Yep.
and ion cannons and Y wings.
Yeah, I
what
wrote
it's all
down.
about.
I wrote
Fucking
down more
Y-wings.
names, which we'll get through. So, flux field generator, is that a Star Wars thing already? Because that's not bad.
I don't think so. I feel like I don't hear flux
Okay,
ever.
That one's not so
in
bad.
Star Wars.
The Moff ship.
Moff ship. That's kind of
It's
stupid.
stupid.
It should just be a Star
Quadrex
Destroyer.
power core.
That sounds Star Warsy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anti-concussion field generator, Torplex deflector cable. Some of these are
Torplex
actually okay.
I don't know
deflector
what
But then
that-
you
yeah.
have C-beam strobe lamps and a Xenomach, which is a drill.
Xenomach.
I
Yeah,
put- I did
it's
put-
a cool word.
I did
but-
make a note on C-beams off something about off the town glittering off the
Yeah.
town hazard gate.
Also,
Only ever heard C-beams in Blade Runner.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
weird
okay.
that it came up.
Got it.
But they also, this is something for the next book. They mentioned Project Decoy.
Oh right.
Yes, very important. Probably one of the greatest things in these books is Project
secret-
Decoy.
It's a
Oh yeah, I
secret
know.
now.
Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah, so they left Yavin 4.
Great, by the way, great name for a secret project.
Project
Project
Decoy.
Decoy. Oh well, that's just a decoy. I don't have to worry about that.
Yes,
That's what you name the red herring, right?
I mean,
Yeah. That's what it sounds better.
Whatever.
Anyways, Leia, she reads one of the prophecies. They get a data disc. Oh, that's what was on the
yeah, they steal
in
the
the thing.
data disk they stole, but it's not like part of it's broken. But don't worry, R2's gonna solve it.
Yeah, he
It doesn't
fixes it.
like-
Almost immediately.
So they read about the dragon pack on Yoda's back,
Yep.
and then Leia's like, when Kadan talks about Yoda's stony back, he must mean Mount Yoda. And then Luke says, and I'm sure that the words dragon pack refer to Drapac.
Yeah, but that you went over your head.
it went straight into my head.
Okay.
And it was so stupid that I
Yeah.
flitted it away like a gnat.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I guess, Luke,
Yeah.
you fucking idiot.
And
The-
then,
the-
I can't believe that.
They say the Empire had yet to mount a successful assault on the misty planet Dagobah. Why would they?
For the mountain.
There's nothing there.
well, it sounds like Spin was like, hey, everybody, we're making a new base.
Yeah.
We're leaving Yavin 4. Find us
Attention!
on Dagobah.
Let's go rename a probably unnamed mountain.
Yeah.
Or
'Cause
it's,
it's just
or it's named
lizards.
for like a proud like chieftain.
It's just lizards and like regular earth snakes.
That
That,
lizard
live on
that
this
goes,
planet. Yeah.
They should rename it. It should be Mission from Mount McKinley.
Yes.
that's good. That's
no,
really good.
Because we defeated
Because
wokeness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like Mon Mothma's like, what's this about the pierced by gold? And Luke's like, maybe this golden knife will stab
Flashing
someone.
it around.
Yeah, I
Swings
guess
it at Mon Mothma.
I guess it's that they can't bear to have any part of their stupid prophecy not be explainable in the moment
Yeah.
because maybe they're worried they'll forget to explain it if they don't do something with it now.
Yeah.
Huh. Wonder if someone's gonna get stabbed.
Yeah. All right. So we get a little bit of Zorba. A tiny bit of Zorba.
Yeah, just
in
a
this one.
But it's so good.
It's
Yeah,
great.
he's the
It's
best.
so good. He wakes up from the most wonderful dream about a for-profit prison system.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
If I ever
That's
got
not an
the chance,
exaggeration.
if I ever got the chance to do a Star Wars thing, I would like Zorba. I would throw Zorba in just to make sure that he's canon.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe he is. I don't think he's canon anymore, but like
Nah.
that would be my number one priority is get Zorba the fuck back into the canon.
Yes.
We need him back.
Priorities,
he's the best.
please.
He seems interested mostly just in white collar crime.
Yes,
like
Yeah.
he wants
he's
to be
awesome.
the governor.
That's it.
He wants
Yeah.
to be in charge of the police,
And-
who he trusts
and-
implicitly.
And throwing people into the Sarlacc.
He
'Cause
still
his
likes
dream-
that.
yeah.
His
Still likes
dream is
that.
also a line of people that he's executing.
Yes.
His
Oh, where
dream
it
is
here?
like Danny DeVito's from Space Jam,
Here, I'll
where
describe the
Michael
dream
Jordan
here.
is chained up and every kid gets to play with Michael
This
Jordan.
this paragraph
Yes.
is great. So he's dreaming about the nasty Renats tearing up his son's palace.
Ooh,
Yeah.
But
those
then
damned
the dream
Renats.
changed as if Zorba was seeing the palace in the future. It had become a modern, interplanetary prison, an armed fortress where
the dream.
criminals from many different planets were sent for punishment and execution.
Yep.
Their deaths were fearsome. They were thrown into the pit of Carcoon, where the mouth of Sarlacc was buried in the
Mouth
sand.
of Sarlacc.
Ready and eager to swallow its victims alive. The line of criminals stretched for miles. For each one, Zorba
Whoa.
collected a fee.
Awesome.
And then he wakes up like, I gotta do this.
down, yeah.
I gotta
his
go.
seat,
I gotta go. He
Guan-
rushes out. He rushes to
Guantanamo.
Tatooine to
Leaves
start
the door
this.
unlocked.
Yes.
That's what happens.
He
pulling
cannot
on
get
his
out of there
pants.
fast enough. Like,
He races out of
pulling
Cloud
on a
City.
jacket as he gets to his spaceship as quick as possible. And he
Yeah.
says to the cops, he's like, take care of everything.
yeah, just do it.
Just do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and then he races out, leaves the door unlocked. Turns out his cops are
They
they're dirty.
immediately betray him.
Yeah, they
Yes.
work for the
second
Moffs.
he's gone.
Does he come? Does this happen? Do they make good on this in a later book?
I don't remember.
Sort of, in a way, but
Yeah, I
Is
don't-
there more Zorba?
There is more.
There's more. Okay.
the next one's got lots of Zorba. And it's
Okay, cool.
great.
I'm very
Thank
excited.
God.
I say it's great because my childhood memory of it is great.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to read it and find out it still fucking sucks.
I have no childhood memories of anything but Zorba the Hutt, and I don't think I read the next.
He's a
two,
striking figure.
but it also seems unlikely that I wouldn't have.
Yeah,
So
Queen
I
of
don't
the
know.
Empire.
I don't know.
The next one was the first one I read. Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Zorba races out. The cops
The
betray
idea
him.
of a,
and they-
of a hut racing.
He's excited. The cops betray him for
Yes.
Grand Moff Issa and steal Trioculus out of the museum.
Yeah,
Right,
the
yeah.
second he leaves,
Yeah.
the cops are like, "Okay,
Bring it
come
in."
on
All right, Grand
Yeah.
Moff
Which-
Issa's waiting.
Dracula's is like his prized possession,
Yes.
the carbonite encased Trioculus.
Yep.
So yeah, some stormtroopers show up. They steal Trioculus
Mm-hmm.
and then like Grand Moff Issa is leaving with it. And then like the prophets of the dark side pull up in their ship, like alongside them.
Yeah.
And be like, hey,
So it's
Give me that.
Scardia Voyager
the Scardia
pulls
Voyager.
up alongside the Moff ship, which
Yep.
is one word.
Also, you'd think they would just like thaw him right away. Maybe that's just me.
Maybe
but
they
I-
need special facilities. No, but then you
But
just,
they
you just
don't
do
wanna-
it.
You just
There's buttons.
Although not in this, because they talk about having a facility that like melts down carbonite. And it's like no, there's
Maybe-
just like a pad on the side.
Maybe
Yeah.
they're stupid.
Leia did it.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, iote, ioto.
I am realizing that I did not highlight very much in this book.
Grand Moff Issa admitted the boarding party, knowing full well.
Whoa.
This is I love these like kind of just very small attempts to like flesh it out more. So Grand Moff Issa admitted the boarding party, knowing full well that no Imperial, from the ranks of Grand Moff all the way down to Ranger
Sixth.
6th class.
Yeah, Ranger
fuck is that?
refused to request the prophets.
Is that the
Ranger
lowest?
6th class. Also, Ranger sounds like an elite. That sounds like a
Maybe first class. I'll give you even second.
It's a 1 second attempt to add a little bit more flavor that just strikes me as very strange when I
Yeah,
heard it. when I
this
read it.
introduces one of my favorite things in this book, which is the file Kadan has on Grand Moff Issa.
Yes. Yes.
Which
Uh-oh.
He's brought one page to show, and they don't tell us what's in it. He shows it
Yeah.
to Hissa, though, to force compliance. He's
Presumably, there was like an Epstein in the Star Wars universe
Yep.
that had like
Yep.
he brings
yeah.
the flight log.
Because
Yes.
Issa looks at things he's like, no,
Yeah.
I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Jedgar says, and there's more, and stretches
It's
his hand
this
out
big.
a
Yeah.
foot wide.
Yes.
Says, there's this much. I wrote down that Kadan has a file on all the slurs Hissa tweeted 5 years ago.
I was cracking up that it was like, it's this big.
And it tells you like it was about. He put his hands
like a
about a
foot.
foot apart.
Which,
yeah.
like, this is a 7 foot tall man, so that's not very far,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
proportionately. And he's just like, No.
He says, yours is the thickest file of all the Grand
I
Moffs.
Okay.
was worried for a second. What about
Yeah.
Munchausen or
Munchausen.
Grand Moff?
Dunhausen.
Dunhausen. Yeah.
Munchausen by Grand Moff Munchausen by proxy.
The one with the earring blasters. They've all just
Yes.
done terrible,
We haven't
horrible.
seen him in a
I
while.
was worried for a moment that the book would explain what was in the file because normally nothing is left to the imagination.
Yeah.
Because Paul and Hollis think children don't have imagination.
Right.
That's why you have to explain everything.
Literally
It's quite
everything.
twofold. But this, it was just like, no.
Yeah.
Like he
And
keeps
it-
talking about
yeah.
how thick it is, and then he says one last time, "Remember, your file is this thick."
I am
this
wondering, like,
thick.
what could it be?
I don't
Because
know.
it's the Empire. It seems
And they
like,
all dark greetings. You
Yeah,
know,
it's like
dark
they're all
prophets.
about being evil. And
Did he
shit.
do,
They have
like,
a favorite
good
slave
stuff?
lord.
Like
Yeah.
charity, like he did
Yeah.
some charity work.
Yeah, you
I mean,
donated to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
It just seems like it's got to be pretty fucking bad if the
Yeah.
other Grand Moffs are. Yeah.
So they get Grandma
It's
Fissa on
probably
their
a
side.
sex thing, right?
We know what it
has to
is. We know what it is.
Okay.
Have you seen what this guy looks like?
yeah, yeah. Some
yeah.
Muka-related crimes.
Uh-oh.
Get what's his face on the phone? Who's the attorney? Come on, he's Trump's attorney and Epstein's.
Oh.
Alan Dershowitz.
Yes, the guy that like every time this stuff comes up, he's like, "Wait, no, nothing happened."
We need to
Yes, it
talk
would
to
be
the
in good
planet
hands.
Elon, where
Yeah.
Dershowitz
Yes.
will be. All right.
Anyway, he's forced to join the prophets.
Yeah, he says there's no place for Triaculus and Kadan's plans.
Yeah.
which we're
And
just hearing about. This.
Jedgar Cohen just becomes part of the whole bad guy thing in this book now.
Yeah.
He just hangs out.
What type of alien is he?
He's
he
just,
just
a
a
guy.
guy?
He's
He's
a
just a
tall
tall
guy.
guy.
Tall
with
guy?
a beard.
That's just the whole thing. Is the prophets of the dark side are just
Yeah.
many different sizes.
Yeah.
It's strange. Anyways,
So I guess does he brings Hissa onto the Scardia Voyager,
yes.
and I guess the Moff ship. They're just like, okay, we'll
Yeah,
see ya.
someone-
Do they just
someone-
wait?
yeah,
They hit the
someone take care of
casinos
it.
at Cloud City, or
I guess.
but
Yeah.
they're not in the rest of the book.
And then Hissa, he's all worried because the carbonite Trioculus is on his way to Kadan, who's going to destroy it.
Yeah.
Or is he? We'll find out.
Yeah. It's kind of confusing.
It is. There is some kind of trickery going on, and if you're like a child,
Yeah.
maybe it fools you.
Yeah.
but-
Oh, I also, before we get off Hissa, when the page of the flight logs is brought out, he says, I deny these charges. His eyes blinked rapidly,
yeah.
like the eyes of a trapped Renat about to die.
Sure.
About to die.
His eyes blinked
They start
rapidly.
blinking.
Okay. Like the eyes of a trapped Renat. Okay, sure, I get that. About to
Oh,
die.
who's
Okay,
about to die?
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A trap. Yeah. All right.
Sorta
okay.
Like a Kowakian lizard monkey that has 9
That has
lives.
9
Yeah.
lives.
Which-
Unlike
they
normal
bring
ones.
Kowakian
Kowakian
lizard
lizard monkey
monkeys
came
back
back.
Sure
up
does.
again. That's right.
All right, let's drop all this shit and go back to Dagobah Tech.
Yep.
Yeah. Is this another like whiplash? No, it's a chapter break.
This is
okay.
Ken being like, why do I have to do this? And Luke like, you're going to school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Even though you know everything that's ever happened.
It's a great adventure and a
Yeah.
real opportunity.
for what?
so weird. And
This
he has to
kid
take
knows
he has to
everything.
take an aptitude test.
Yeah.
Is this Ganooks?
Yes.
Yeah.
The test.
Which
Well,
sounds
first
like
of
an
all,
insult from The Sopranos.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a fucking Ganook?
Okay, so Kozakian lizard monkey has got 9 lives. Anyway, Ken says I'd rather work on a moisture farm, and Luke says, "No, you
Oh,
don't. They
yeah.
suck.
Yeah, you don't want
It's
to.
they're on miserable desert worlds like Tatooine. End of discussion. Period. Planets that
Shut
we
the
will
fuck
willingly
up.
go
Yeah.
to buy Kate droids.
What do you say also? But
Yeah,
from
like they just went.
yeah, but from the time I was a kid.
There's some
there's a
weird
crazy
wording
way
in
to
this
say
book. I
that,
highlighted
yeah.
a few things throughout,
It's
but
like,
yeah, he's forced to go to school.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
uncle and aunt needed my help. Also, they were burned alive.
Yeah.
because of me.
Yeah, because of me. So if I had gone to school, they'd still be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why you should go to school.
Yeah, he gets to learn about exobiology, which is where he learns about Ganooks, a species of rather unintelligent, ape-like humanoids with very small brains.
Yep,
The test was
oh,
so
sorry.
dumb. Can't decide that only a Ganook could have designed it.
Just like maybe
Whatever.
the only race that's gotten done more dirty than
Than
Aqualesh
Aqualesh, yeah.
and Huts.
Androids.
And droids, which droids
yeah.
really get it again in this
Yeah.
book.
Sure do.
And it's brought up specific things in his class.
Why are Ganooks also? Why? Sorry, just just real quick on the Ganook thing.
Yeah.
It says a lot of the questions were about
A
Ganooks.
lot of them. Oh, and it's
Huge.
not a
Why?
test about biology.
It's like a
It's
general
an aptitude
test.
test. Which like I don't know, a lot, many questions.
Yeah.
But it does things went bad to worse. So it mentions specific subjects. So he's really good on subjects from spaceship repair to galactic history.
Yes.
However, he's stumped by parts on alien languages and space navigation. You're like, okay, why are they bringing this all up?
Yeah, why do you need
And
to-
then
yeah.
actually, later in this chapter, Ken reads an alien language on the side of a ship.
Yes.
Sure
Which-
does.
But I thought that's the one he's bad at. Why wouldn't you say he's good at it? So you could
Jedi
set
library.
up the fact that chut.
Chut Watto.
I just checked because I was curious, and this is an incredibly rare instance of this. Even amongst this book series, Ganooks, this is the only mention of Ganooks ever in any Star Wars thing. Usually there's like an entry in some encyclopedia
Yeah.
at least, or
There's
like,
like whatever, put it in something.
a comic book mentions them again or something.
Right.
Mission from Mount Yoda.
The only
The
book.
one listing,
one
It's like the
reference.
most
Wikipedia.
comfortable chair ever designed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those on
What's-
Wikipedia where it's like just these books.
Yeah.
What's crazy about the Ganook though is it's not just an ape-like creature. It specifically says humanoid,
With a
which
small
means
brain.
that like
Ape-like
it's
humanoid.
bipedal. It
Yeah.
probably has opposable fingers and
Yeah.
appendages, but they're so stupid that
Yeah.
they must be so scary.
It's like a Wookiee,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it
like
just
really
dies.
dumb.
Yeah,
like a dumb
just
Wookiee.
a Wookiee, but it really is an animal. Can
not-
you imagine how
don't give
fucking
it-
scary that
horrible.
is?
Do not give it Xanax.
Oh no!
Do not give it Xanax.
Oh, rip your
Travis
balls off.
the Ganook.
Travis the Ganook.
Oh, also on the same
You'd read about
chapter.
Travis the
They,
Ganook.
they have the like fine motor skills to drive a car.
They
a
know all
cloud
your
car.
weak spots.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
They know what to
They
attack.
can't speak though.
They
can only grunt.
experience only one emotion: lust.
Yeah.
We also get two Y-wing fighters mentioned.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
whole book series refuses to acknowledge X-wings.
Yeah.
I don't know why they can't just say starships too, but it's all Y-wing fighter. Were all the X-wings
I don't know.
destroyed?
No.
I think they just think that Y-Wings seat like 12 people.
And they have to cart all these characters around.
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. God forbid there's one character having thoughts rather
Yeah.
than three saying nothing.
Well, they
There
keep-
are Y-Wings in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, we know what Y-Wings look like.
Yeah.
We know how many people they hold.
Even if they did hold that many people, like, why did they have to mention Y-Wings so often
Just
and
say a
so
Cor-
specifically?
Say a fucking Corellian
They make
cargo
up
cruiser.
so-
They
well,
love
they
saying
love
that.
saying Corellian
which we get
stuff.
another Corellian ship
And
in
I
this
know,
book.
yeah.
There's a lot of Corellian pride.
It's a rental.
They can clearly
They
make
rent
up
a
They
ships.
car.
rent a cloud car or whatever
Well, the
it
problem
is.
is they have the Millennium Falcon, but Han never wants to go anywhere.
Right,
So
yeah.
it ends up
Yeah, 'cause
stuck
he's
in
such
place.
a
Yes.
fucking loser.
Yes.
Anyway, Ken, who is notably bad at alien languages, it was just we only found that out because it was mentioned 2 pages ago. Sees that there's strange alien writing on the side of a craft, and
Oh,
I was
wait.
wrong. 3PO reads
Yeah,
it, but he
yeah.
still sees it and recognizes that's alien writing.
Yeah,
Like, to
yeah.
even recognize it.
I mean, I don't know.
This kid can't read.
What's the Star Wars alphabet called?
Orabesh.
Yeah. It's not Orabesh.
Oshkosh
It's
Bagosh.
Duries,
Yeah.
Yes.
says 3PO.
Who's fluent in 6 million languages, like in
Thank
the
you.
movies.
Apparently,
Yes,
the
we
spaceship is
remember.
called the Royal Carriage. It is from the
Okay.
planet Duro.
Yeah.
Idiot.
And
All right.
then a Twilight Zone ass alien steps out with narrow eyes and a wide mouth. You know the like one guy that works for Thanos who's not big or carry
Oh, yeah.
coons?
Oh.
The one that looks like Squidward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this guy, Dustini, looks
Which
like in the
It's
book.
kinda.
I'll lay the blame upon George for this one.
Okay.
Because he made them look like regular aliens.
They look like Greys, but they have a little
They have
bit
bigger
like- They have
heads.
bigger heads and like the nose thing.
They have
feel
red
is a
eyes.
little more pronounced.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know what it looks like?
I saw it in the book.
Cad Bane.
That's not
is
what it
one.
looks like. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
you know
no.
Cad
I do
Bane?
know what Cad Bane looks
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Do you?
actually. Yeah.
Blue guy.
That's yeah.
But he's at least like blue.
Yeah. They're in the cantina. It's not this delicious snack.
Okay. Good.
Remember
Those
the
are-
two Duros? They had their faces really close together and they're like, oh, no, no, oh, no,
Well,
oh,
it-
oh, no."
Either way, let's do a little bit of the interaction when the alien first speaks. I'll
Oh, you
be
mean Dust
the-
Angle?
I'll be Dustini and you be 3PO. Ich zane von Sie.
Oh, ik zana zu pubesh. Ik vi brash Luke Skywalker. Ik ken vopen Jedi. Christ.
Alien from the planet Duro reached for the knife.
We're going to do that later.
He puts on the translator. I beg your pardon, Mr. Skywalker, Mr. Ken. Just so crazy. I'm Destiny. And so
Destiny.
he falls to his knees. They feed him and they bathe him and they bring him to a meeting.
They wash him with their bare hands.
Give him
like a
sponge bath.
Confederate soldier that's being taken in
Yeah.
by
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wives of others.
Yeah. Then he talks about their whole plight. They're dumped like Duro.
Yeah.
Here's the environmental
Here we
thing.
get to the
Finally,
ecological
yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
which I am amazed at the consistency from whales
Mhm.
to what is rainforests burning to
Yep.
braze and now to the toxic
Yep.
sludge being discharged.
And
on
also the
planet Duro.
preservation of their culture with their relics and
Yeah,
stuff. There's a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit of that sprinkled in.
Yeah.
belongs in a more comfortable chair.
Says they will force us to forget our heritage and who we really are as people. Kadan is a greedy, ruthless collector of ancient treasures.
Yeah.
He craves the relics of Queen Rana so much, nothing will stand in his way.
Which they
Right.
know. He had
Yeah.
heard about. He had heard that Kadan's
of course.
passion for ancient relics was out of control.
How? He just
It's in the newspaper.
Jedi Library.
It's like
okay, so the Jedi Library was last updated, what, 25 fucking years ago when the Jedi got annihilated?
No,
Like,
they put all the stuff that happened in the movies in there too.
how?
Remember, you're Han Solo.
It's
You found it
lost.
when
It's
you
a
found it.
lost city. How are they getting this info?
Through a tube.
No!
With the tubular transport.
I am consistently grateful that every book after Lost City of the Jedi doesn't just take place around an elevator. Because holy fuck.
Well, everyone knows that Kadan basically has a Beanie Baby collecting problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's out
Yeah.
of control, which suggests that it's a problem.
Yeah.
So Destiny gets here. He's like, "Look, here's some of the treasures we have." And this is one of the best things that happens in the book. He puts on a crown
Oh.
that has daggers in it that stab into his head.
Immediately.
So violent.
He's like,
Well,
"Look at this one!" Ah! And they're like, "What? What's going on?"
For no reason. He's like, and this was the crown of her brother-in-law. Ah!
And then Vip, he goes, "Ah!"
Vip, he falls over, presumably dead, and then
Yeah.
they pick it up and they're like, hang on, there's little knives inside this crown. And you're like, oh, it was booby-trapped by the Emperor. No, it was booby-trapped by their ancestors.
Yeah.
So this
it
guy's
her
an
crown?
archaeologist.
Was it her crown or was it like...
It was like
There's
The
another
crown
that was
was
like
a
it was her
booby trap.
cousin's dad's crown.
It was from King Dasid's tomb.
Yeah, there we
King
go.
Dasid. Yeah. He says, look, it's just one of our beautiful treasures, and then puts it on his head and says, ah! His eyes turn upward and he's paralyzed and he's locked in a twisted position, unable to bend or even stir.
Yep. Can't stir at all.
Stir it.
Can't bend or stir.
Somebody get a doctor. This man's bent. He can't even stir.
And luckily, 3PO seems to magically have insight onto this because he says, "Oh my, it appears that the crown was a booby trap designed to kill any thief who plundered King Dasid's tomb."
This dumbass archaeologist goes, hey, look at this,
Yeah.
and puts it on. Just,
Meanwhile, 3PO on the other hand is like, "Oh yes, King Dasid, of course. I
right,
know
King
him.
Dasid,
He
I know
knows
him.
everything.
And I know that he booby trapped all his shit
It's like if Indiana Jones opened the Ark of the Covenant when he found
and
it.
just put his face in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody in here?
Oh,
Ah!
Destiny does manage to wiggle a finger though and point to his pocket.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had clothes on.
Right
Just-
here.
It's a new Duro.
Right here.
He wiggles. He stirs enough to point to his asshole.
He can't stir, but he can. He can
Yeah.
He
point.
can wiggle a
Yeah.
finger.
They
he
find
does a little
another
dance.
data disk.
This is like when I have sleep paralysis and I can do the Kill Bill, wiggle your big toe, and I can work from there to shaking my whole
Get
leg.
the rest
Oh,
free.
I think
And
you're
yeah.
eventually I wake myself up.
Yeah.
Destiny does a 5-inch death punch.
Yeah.
On the,
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
coffin.
Yep.
They should bury him prematurely because it does seem like he's dead.
Yeah. And then Mon Mothma's like, "Oh, it looks like Kadan's prophecy is coming true."
How many
Sure,
lines
whatever.
does she even say? I always forget that she's there.
She has, like,
she's
just,
the
like,
leader
2 or
of
3.
Spin, and every
Yeah.
once in a while she goes, "Yeah, so Dasid, sure."
So this is where Leia's like, "It had nothing to do with the golden knife Luke found on Zatrop," and that's the last we ever
And
hear of
says,
that.
"Oh
knife.
well,"
Yeah.
tosses it into a swamp. Yeah, I guess no one got stabbed.
Yep. And then we get a hologram from was it? Is it Dustangle?
No, is it from Dostane?
Oh, it's Dostini. It's just
himself.
Dostini,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a contingency plan in case he died on
In
entry.
case he put on a booby-trapped crown.
Yeah. I'm gonna put on all this shit, so there better not
Yeah.
be any traps.
So he just tells them to go to Duro.
The hologram is untranslated.
Yeah.
He's like, just in case I die, I need to record something.
Oh, yeah, he
but I'm
does
not
say,
going to wear the translator.
Zaki mit
Right.
konosko Zoren.
Yeah. He also says, Ziz mix bazoop.
Yep. And then, they got to go to Duro.
And then turns out there's more information on the disc, but there's a glitch.
oh, shoot.
R2 can't tell us anymore.
Don't worry though.
Oh,
He's-
well.
He's gonna figure it out.
Yeah, so they're getting ready to leave. They're going to leave Ken at school.
Ken begs. He wants to come so bad. He can't come.
But Chip, the
But
narc,
he
the
think-
narc robot.
Well, yeah. But he thinks to himself, how about I at the very least, I should go wish them well and say goodbye. Uh-oh.
Oops.
Where are
Oh,
they?
shoot.
Trips into the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
The
he
stumbles.
falls into the cargo compartment,
He-
which breaks the entire ship.
He
Yes.
falls. The 12-year-old boy falls in such a way that he severs a massive cable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
a
locks
really important
himself
one.
in. Which also, where is everyone?
They're like
Yeah, 'cause
packed
Like
there's
it seems
something-
like something's wrong. It's like he hears booted
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah.
He can't.
Which might have been a reference to Chip because of his,
his
boot-shaped
boot-shaped feet.
Yeah.
He can't. I don't think this book does references, but he can't find anyone. And then the second he falls into the cargo bay and breaks everything, the ship takes off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to.
Everyone rushes out.
I
Like
guess
it's,
they all got sprinted
like
into
it's
the
the
ship.
stage crew at,
Go, take off!
at a scene change.
Yeah.
I want to take down the Hollises here.
Okay.
Because there's an inconsistency.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Because before Ken gets on the ship, he washes, dresses, brushes his teeth, and combs his hair. He does not, in fact,
Yeah.
vapor clean his teeth. He
Right.
brushes them.
Maybe Dagobah Tech doesn't have vapor cleaning technology.
Oh, they have low tech.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe it's about learning the way of the brush.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
low tech. They're a low T institute.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. You know
Low
what?
T learning.
They thought of everything. They thought
a
of
charter
everything. The
school.
Hollises.
Yeah.
Well, also he hates vapor cleaning his teeth. Maybe he really
likes the
likes
brush?
brushing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe this
See
is
a
a
better
progress.
way.
Okay. You know what? I take it all back.
Chip has been running around. The first Chip's line is, "Get up, 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 up."
Oh my God.
It's the first.
Find your computer note.
You have to
notebook.
zip downstairs to the commissary.
Should have left Chip at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Brought Mooka. Brought the
Eh.
Mooka.
Yes. There's a
Yes, we get trapped in the bulkhead of the cargo bay, locked forever. Nobody can hear him.
He swings around to look for the boots he hears and then knocks over a crate.
It's like, oh!
Just like, ah!
Yeah.
And then the door goes whoop, click.
Help me! Help! Let me out of here! I'm supposed to start school.
Yeah.
He should get expelled.
He should be thrilled.
Yes.
This is like all he wanted. He gets to go on an adventure on accident.
Yeah, but Chip's gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
Oh,
that little
yeah.
shit.
All right, so they take off. There's a rumbling. Unless he was mistaken, he was now on his way to the planet Duro.
Oh shit!
You're
And
not mistaken.
He's
free
lucky
guy.
later that Luke Skywalker doesn't kill him.
So
Yeah.
that brings us back to the prophets and Grand Moff Hissa, which this line cracked me up was Hissa's strike cruiser encountered no space traffic along the way.
I know.
It's like
Okay.
cool.
These books are so.
The 405
so
is wide
mundane.
open.
This is also when they refer to Chewbacca as an oaf-brained Wookiee.
They should be talking about Han.
Yeah, I know.
It's so funny because they talk
Chewbacca
about
could cook.
the important Wookiees, poor Wookiees. Chewbacca is completely sidelined, and even
Yeah.
as co-pilot,
Yeah.
Leia says, "Sit back, I'm gonna do this," because
Yeah.
Han thinks that I can't pilot a Corellian cargo ship.
These books kind of
Oaf
have the
brained
same
Wookiee.
attitude towards like non-humans as the Emperor, which is that they don't belong anywhere. They have no business doing anything.
Right,
Mhm.
They
yeah.
should all be maybe killed.
Also,
They don't like Paul and Hollis. Do not like any non-human
no,
characters in this.
which is very imperial of them,
That's what I'm saying.
with the exception
yeah.
of Thrawn.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think they would prefer the Empire is what's in charge because
think so.
That's
reading,
probably- yeah.
reading into what they talk about, like regional managers, sales
Yeah.
associates, signing leases, paperwork, traffic.
Slave lords.
Slave lords.
lords.
Well, it's so much like the mundanity of
renting a car.
Yeah, the mundane nature of like the Empire that we see
The banality
in
of
Andor.
evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they do it really well because they're so boring.
Yeah, they're just fat. I mean, they're
just
fascists,
people.
probably, right?
Yeah.
They're probably
That's how it works. And also, Chewie's his bounty's only 10,000 credits.
That's not
At least
Right,
like
that's-
when
that's
Leia was
chump
Boosh,
change.
she was asked for 50,000.
Yeah.
And got what? 30?
30,
I think,
because
which is pretty
Chewbacca
good.
offered 20, but she was holding a thermal
Monko,
detonator.
wonky Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. Very nice.
Yeah.
And then Jedgar brings up ion cannons again.
Yep.
It's always ion cannons. Never turbo lasers, never laser cannons. Ion cannons.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Jedgar never misses an opportunity for some fun amongst the crew.
I mean, it's important. To
He says, I have a splendid idea. This will be a contest to determine the best gunner aboard. Whoever destroys, which it should be whomever destroys the Millennium Falcon shall have the pleasure of dining with Kadan and me aboard Space Station Scardia.
don't want that.
This is a Trump-ass
It's
reward.
like
Yeah,
Mickey
it is,
17, yeah.
yeah.
We're
it's
gonna
like
get
Mickey
McDonald's
17.
for whoever the best shooter is.
A personal dinner. I'll come by for 2 minutes.
I have an incredible idea. A great idea.
7 feet tall.
Yeah, I know it'll be fun
Wow,
for
you're
everybody.
Trump would love him tall.
He would
seeing
love
a tall
Jedgar. He'd be
guy
like,
back
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Have you seen this guy? He's so tall. His
He's
beard
very
almost touches
tall.
the floor, though.
You see him
Taller
sitting in
than
that
me.
Tesla. He's like, there's a computer in here.
Everything's computer.
I love.
Everything's computer.
We love Tesla.
Tesla. Christ. Okay. So, oh no, it does mention turbo lasers
He
and
he
laser
should
cannons
have
here.
powdered balls to squeeze next to the Resolute desk,
Oh,
but they're all
yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
And gold was the color of victory, thought Jared Kushner.
Where's Jared at these days? I don't know. He'd make a good,
Developing in the Middle East.
he'd make a good
I would
moth.
assume.
He says the Falcon was purring like a mooka.
yeah.
Baron has a third eye here.
Yeah.
He says that he was surprised by the weak firepower of his spaceship.
Yeah, this is crazy. He says, Grand Moff Hissa laughs. If that's the best the Rebel Alliance can do in their defense, they'd be wise to surrender and plead for their lives.
Oh yeah, because they're chasing the Falcon. Who's
They have
shooting at
had
them.
not one but 2 Death Stars destroyed by the Rebel Alliance,
Yeah.
and he's still like, "Ha!
thousands,
Can you
hundreds
believe
of thousands
this?
of lives
These
lost.
dopes.
These idiots! This is the best they can do."
And then Han says, "I only want to know one thing: who was the Kowakian lizard monkey who fooled around with our quad laser cannons and busted them?
Who adjusted the seat in my Winnebago?
Who tripped over my
Yeah.
important cable?"
I swear I had my keys right here, but someone's always moving them.
Did someone mess with my jet ski?
The hell?
Who-
Who the hell ate my Corellian leftovers?
Spicy.
Where are my spicy, greasy
He's
leftovers?
such an asshole.
Did somebody change the V chip settings on my TV? I can't get into
Turned on
Cinemax.
motion sense.
You know I like it smooth.
motion smoothing.
He wants them on, yeah.
Who turned on cinema mode?
The hell?
I want at least 60 frames.
The adaptive frame control is turned off.
They have a whole fucking like big argument about, or not argument, but they're trying to figure out where it is. Luke goes back there to try to fix the fucking door. 'Cause they somehow
He's pounding on the
Did you
door.
mention that everything was purring like a mooka before
did,
they
I
left?
did,
Okay,
yeah.
These
got
don't
it.
purr like
But
Mookas, they
this
kush like
is-
Mookas.
Luke being a fucking dickhead says, "Quiet, 3PO. Can't you see I'm concentrating on the Force?" This is an asshole.
Shut up,
He's
3PO.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Rude.
Shut up, you queen.
Yeah. They're trying to
Gay
figure out
bitch.
how to. Yeah, he's like, there's a power cable that's busted. He's like, shut up, 3PO. Chewbacca says grog.
Yeah.
Chewbacca speaks for once.
Says,
And then
"Grog."
they go check out the door and they're like, how do we unfreeze this door? And then somebody pounding on it.
Unfreeze.
They do.
Yeah.
They figure it out. It's the Force.
They do it. He uses the force and he thinks about the mechanisms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
'cause-
almost kills Ken.
He pulls his lightsaber out.
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
he?
like, it's definitely a spy.
Yep.
He's so like
It's a
hyped
spy
up.
that
Yeah.
for
crazy.
some reason came with us.
Luke hasn't slept since the events of Lost City of the
No,
Jedi.
yeah.
Oh,
He's
no.
got bags under his eyes. His skin is. He's like Hitler in the bunker.
He says, I nearly destroyed you with my lightsaber. What are you doing here, Ken? You're supposed to be back at Mount Yoda starting school today.
He says it was an accident. He says some accident.
Yeah. Luke snapped.
Some accidents.
Dennis Reynolds style.
Yeah. Just a dickhead. It's your first day. You're playing hooky.
You got to school and you're oh.
Next thing you knew, you practically destroyed our quad laser cannon and smashed the control to the bulkhead
You
door.
Leave the
dumbass.
fucking kid alone.
And shut down our hyperdrive. Now we can't escape. You
says
little
it,
bitch.
He says
piece
it
of
wasn't
shit.
my fault. There was a loose crate that I knocked over.
It was your fault. I mean,
Is it my fault I knocked over a crate and broke the whole ship?
Well, they can't
Yes.
argue for long because more Imperial laser fire hits the Millennium Falcon, probably at the intake vent for the ship's cooling system.
oh,
probably.
shoot.
That's what it says. R2 falls falls over and hits his head on the floor.
Is that when he says, like, you should have arms, you dope?
He says, Ken says, somebody should have manufactured you with hands, little droid. Then you wouldn't have these problems.
You idiot.
It's not arms, just little hands.
Tiny little hands.
He falls over on his back.
He still can't push himself up. But yeah.
He would need to have hands. Pretty soon he's a biblically accurate angel with hands all over
Like a
himself.
little T-Rex.
Some terrible creature. Someone should have given you hands like chips.
I gotta show you the size of this cable that Ken snapped.
Whoa!
Massive
Thicker
cable.
around than his arm.
I think the manufacturer might have been the issue.
Corellian
Yeah.
bums.
They're supposed to be like
McFly, you
master
Corellian
shipbuilders.
bug.
There's Luke about to behead Ken there.
Yeah, Luke gets a lot of use out of his lightsaber, but
Yeah, he
there is a
whacks
moment
things with
later.
it.
There's a moment later that shows just a startling lack of understanding of how they work. Well, we'll get to that. That's
Yeah.
the fava bean beetles. Or
Yeah, the
Zafza.
Fefsa beetles.
Fafsa. Yeah. Anyway, he
Um,
brings. That's right. The whole hands thing, and then R2 tweets in gratitude, and 3PO shouts, "Success!" Unaware of R2 and his troubles. They
Unaware.
nail 3PO. Unaware of
know.
R2 and his troubles is so good.
They got him down for some reason.
Just they picked one character.
yeah.
Yes, yeah. But anyway, Han is like, "What's the kid doing here?"
This line's really funny. So Grand Moff Hiss's marksman made a direct hit on the Millennium Falcon's backup cooling system, and then, dad, insult to injury, they melted the Falcon's missile tubes.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Their missile tubes are gone.
you're not reading the stuff before this though, which is a great entry into Han Solo's new loser arc, which
Oh
is
yeah, here we go.
Leia expects them to go into hyperdrive. Instead, Han Solo starts a dogfight.
Yep.
And she says, "Not so close, Han. They're going to blow up the Falcon." And he says, "No one's going to blow us up," he says confidently. "We're just going to puncture a few holes in their airlocks so those cocky Imperials can say goodbye to their air. Then they can eat our space dust." But Han spoke too soon, and then they immediately get disabled and have their tubes melted.
It's
And
like to
it
run.
says, "Oops, we have to leave." He's like, "I got this."
It's like seeing your uncle drunk, like being like, I'm gonna kick this guy's
Yeah.
ass, and then he just gets
Cold
smoked.
cocked.
It's like
Exactly
one
what I was
punch
thinking.
knockout. Yeah.
yeah,
This
gets
is our Han Solo.
Yeah.
takes a knuckle to the temple
Yep.
and goes down.
Just immediately. I
He's
gotta
a
turn this off.
dim-witted fool. Yeah, turn it
Total
off.
knockout.
Oh my lord. We go back to Space Station Scardia, where Trioculus gets offloaded.
Chapter 6, near the Valley of Royalty.
Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so terrifying.
He's screaming in
So-
agony.
Is what's about to happen here to Trioculus? Is this not really what happens?
Oh, he'll come back.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry about it. Yeah.
There's no way they just kill the main villain.
Well, I remember that Project Decoy has
You know, of
something to
Project
do with
Decoy.
him.
Yes, yes. So his there's some kind of deception going on. Grand Moff Hiss is not done yet with his loyalties. Then we get another stupid prophecy from Kadan. After
Okay.
Palpatine's fiery death, another leader soon comes to command the Empire, and on his right hand, he does wear the glove of Darth Vader. Oh, that's
Isn't
an
that
old
the original
classic.
prophecy?
That's
Yeah.
an old
Yeah.
classic. That
Yeah.
comes up for some reason.
But they're all looking at the entombed face of Trioculus,
Yeah.
and it makes sure to mention it was once the symbol of whatever, confident. It was now a twisted, burned, and tormented face. The face of a failure who had
Yep.
never measured up to his dark mission.
Yeah.
and a disgrace to the Empire.
They don't even mention what a good slave lord he was.
I know. Not one mention.
All that work
There's
he
a
did.
street named after him, right? Or
yes,
something? I don't
or his
know.
position at least.
They don't have any respect for his old stuff.
I'm not gonna. I can't get ahead. But the shit about him torturing Triclops or like whipping him.
Oh, he
Well,
loves whipping
We'll get to
Triclops.
it. We'll
Yeah,
get to it. Well, he
it's
explains his plans.
Yes. While torturing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well,
Yeah, so
Wait,
they vaporize Trioculus. They
yeah.
melt the block. And why the heck there's no glove of Darth Vader there?
Yeah, Prophet Gornash has a particular
Yeah, yeah,
issue with that.
Gornash.
The massive prophet.
yeah. Yeah.
Who's, I guess, somehow more massive than Jedgar. Maybe he's just big.
He's
I think he
massive
might
in
be
a
like a
big
Harkonnen.
way.
He's round.
He might be big in a Harkonnen way.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
figured.
yeah, he's big like that
Fat.
guy on the Taiwanese airline.
Yeah. So, like, why the heck is there no glove? And then Gornash is like, regretfully, Kadan, the answer truly eludes me. Unless perhaps we have just vaporized someone else, not Trioculus.
Huh.
And then Kadan's like, no.
Yep.
Which, the thing is, Trioculus, Kadan's explanation makes sense.
Yeah. He was.
Yeah.
I mean, he
it
was.
was
wearing
not
it.
the
Yeah.
glove.
Yeah, he put on a fake.
Yeah.
because he didn't want to wear it anymore because it made his skin melt off.
He was a poser.
I think he already has the real one, right? Kadan.
I don't know if he has it. I knew Trioculus kept it,
somewhere, I
but
don't
we haven't
care.
heard about it since
hope we
Lost
go
City of
back
the Jedi.
to-
Oh, it's on his way to them.
I hope we go
Oh,
back
yeah.
to the Valley of the Giant Oyster
Soon.
to get another glove.
They won't. No, it is on the way. He says the efficient work of High Prophet Jedgar and his secret team of Imperial intelligence agents is currently bringing him the glove.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Alright.
that's fine. I'll at least have it.
We cut to Duro, where the Falcon is out of commission.
Yeah, it is
Right? Was there anything more on Scardia that's worth mentioning?
No, they just talk
No.
about the glove some more and how like it fucked up Trioculus. They explain all that for some reason.
Yeah.
The cooling system's leaking in the Falcon. The missile
Yeah.
tubes are melted.
Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom.
Sure.
They say, "Oh, the Duro mechanics will fix it."
The melted missile tubes are rattling against one another. What?
How does that? Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Very
Anyway, they have to stow the ship to get repaired on the. But it's okay actually because the Duro mechanics at these shipyards are the best in the galaxy.
Yeah, it's
They'll have
convenient.
the Falcon repaired in no time. Which
Huh,
isn't Duro a currently occupied Imperial planet?
Not even occupied, like
It's just
annihilated.
poisoned by
No
it.
one-
Yeah.
I think they all live in like
Only 15 people are on the surface.
it's like a diaspora
like, under the
now, like,
ground of their
around- Yeah, there's-
city.
There's a few that live underground, but I think it says
It's
they
like
all
a
live in,
flotilla.
they all live in like space. They all live in like Terok Nors.
Yeah,
over
surrounding
above the planet. Yeah.
It's pretty
Which is
cool,
kinda cool.
sci-fi wise.
Sure, yeah.
That like their
It
planet
works.
is so ruined that they
Yeah.
have retreated to the orbit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Han does get the bill, the estimated bill for the repairs that he said. All Han could say was
Yeah,
"ouch."
he complains
Yeah,
about
it says,
about
"Ouch."
repairs on cars. It's awesome.
My
It's-
God.
He won't
that
stop
is-
talking
yeah,
about it.
That's
It's a-
Uncle Rico shit.
It's Uncle
Yeah.
Rico shit. He's like, "You kidding me? The
Oh.
damages incurred because of my actions? What?"
He's gonna have to get a brand new passive sensor antenna, a rebuilt Carbonti 29L electromagnetic package, a new acceleration compensator, extensive repairs to the ion flux stabilizer, and even a new floor for the flood-damaged cargo bay.
Was it carpeted? Why does he have to get a new floor?
Water damage, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the flood, which like it's like a bucket of bolts, right? Like
Yes,
the
it's
whole
all
thing
metal.
about the
It's all
the
metal.
Falcon too is that it's like scrappy.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
fixed everything that was wrong with it, it would still look like it does in Solo.
Yeah, the salesman does say that he should just get rid of it and get a new ship. It'll be
Yeah,
cheaper.
that's awesome.
And he's like,
The
no.
fact that there's a sales representative in
Yeah.
a Star Wars thing, it's just like I think while writing this, Paul and Hollis must have like
had
had
to
to
buy a
get
new
like
car.
a new timing belt on their station wagon. And they were like, you know what, it's just not worth it. I've heard that like the Volvo is actually a really good option.
We had a weirdly out of character C-3PO moment here, though, when Han says to Luke, like, "You wouldn't trash C-3PO and R2-D2 just because they got a few scratches and dents on
Yeah.
them, do you?" To talking to the sales representative, and 3PO says, "You tell him, sir.
Yeah,
We aren't interested in your new spaceships, and that's final."
Normally he'd back him up and say droids are worthless.
Yes, we're completely expendable.
The Millennium Falcon is like a member of your family.
Yeah,
Luke,
well,
Luke says to Han. And
Han's
then-
tune changes.
well, hang on, because
Oh.
Chewbacca says ooh woo.
Oh,
He just say ooh.
He says ooh woo.
He says, ooh.
And then it says, like he had stepped in a thick thava bush, whatever. But it was a moan of sorrow,
Not
pain.
pain.
oh,
Yeah.
right. Ooh woo.
Ooh woo.
He says ooh woo.
Yeah. Okay.
His little chimes as his donations come in.
Leia says that the spin will pick up the tab.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
More Uncle Rico shit is Han is like, no way in hell am I gonna pay for those repairs until he finds out that somebody at the company is going to foot the
He's like,
bill.
oh,
And he
hell
goes,
yeah, do all of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Can you put new floors in too?
Yeah.
Also,
sure.
the Millennium Falcon was raised up on a huge rack.
Yep, yep.
Cool.
Fix it,
I just
Han
have
declared to the salesman.
highlighted.
You did highlight huge rack.
It says fix it.
Yeah, they lease. Oh no, so they don't rent. They
They
lease.
lease a Corellian Action 6 transport.
And they have to fill out a bunch of
I
paperwork.
just highlighted as soon as their lease papers were signed.
I did too.
Yeah,
it's,
like-
it's so boring.
So boring.
It's so boring. And then also, this planet that has been ruined by an empire that's not even in command anymore and
Yep.
polluted to the point that you can't live there. And Leia says, what a dump. No wonder all the aliens on Duro, which they're not aliens if it's their planet.
It's their home
You're
world.
the
Yeah,
alien.
they're
But she
Duros.
says, no wonder all the aliens on Duro got passports to live on other worlds.
Yep.
This world is, this universe they create is so fucking boring.
I did right at the lease paper thing, I made a note. This is where I fell asleep.
Oh, let's see. So R2 fixes Dustini's data disk.
Yeah, he says, "Glitch, glug."
It shows them a schematic of the Valley of Royalty, which is where like those catacombs are, where those
Yeah.
how many 16, 12 people are hiding?
There's 15
something like that, yeah.
archaeologists.
15
well,
archaeologists.
14 without
Yeah.
Dustin.
Well, no, 13.
13 because there's
missing.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gotta go find a door, a hidden door. But then the hologram starts saying, "Guinness Vic Triclops."
Oh.
Guinness Vic Triclops.
Ken knows.
Endurees.
Ken knows who that is.
That building is where the Empire is keeping Triclops prisoner.
Okay.
And then Leia's like, "Don't you mean Trioculus?"
No,
No.
bitch.
Yeah, should someone read this whole Ken line?
It says, "I know." said
Yeah.
Ken.
So Luke says, "Well, who is Triclops?"
And he's like, "I know." I probably should have told you sooner, Luke, but DJ, my caretaker droid, said it would be dangerous to talk about Triclops to anyone, even to you.
You hate DJ.
Triclops is the deepest, darkest secret of the Empire that I also happen to know. The only Imperials who know of his existence are the most powerful members of the Imperial ruling class, such as the Grand Moffs, and me, a 12-year-old boy.
Yep.
I probably should have told you sooner.
Oh, yeah, he does
Yeah.
know this from the master computer files in the Jedi Library in the Lost City of the Jedi, but he was never allowed to see the whole file.
Oh man.
Wonder what was missing.
You
Yeah,
got to see,
well-
the guy. So he's the real son of the evil empire who used to rule the galaxy with Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine. They didn't
Yeah.
rule. He didn't rule with Darth. Darth Vader didn't rule shit.
No, he
Yeah,
was,
he
a
was just
dog.
like a
Attack dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but he also has 3 eyes.
Yep.
Which is important to know.
The one's on the back of his
Yeah,
head.
it's on the back of his
Yee.
head instead of the.
Yeah, which
front.
is shown to be just a tactical nightmare. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got its advantages, but we'll
Yeah.
get to that. Anyway, after all this, which is just like there exists some deep dark secret that could destroy the entire galaxy, and immediately Han says, "You're lucky this is a Corellian ship. I recognize this big brown knob immediately."
I highlighted that. That's what clinched the rental deal for him. So boring.
So,
Know what this-
So boring.
stupid.
Know what this doohickey does?
Yo, it's a sees
And then-
Forbes CCY anti-raider defense unit.
But Luke does
Ken knows
burn pretty
already.
good. He asks if he knows what it does. Luke says, "Is that for bailing out if we're going to crash?"
He's got PTSD.
Bailing out? What the fuck are you talking
He's
about?
joking. He's telling a joke to shit on Han.
He's smiling.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
And-
Ken says,
It's like, oh, I know what it's for. It's
Yeah.
a Forbes
Forbes.
A
sure.
Forbes magazine CCY anti-radar defense unit.
Ken's on the Forbes 12 under 30.
Someone asked him, "Did you pick that up at the Jedi Library?"
Yeah,
in
Han's
Lost
kind of
City?"
not. He's
Yeah.
kind of done with his
He
shit.
says, "Yeah,
bring
DJ
it.
taught a special class in stealth systems."
No, he didn't.
And why don't you know about other starship stuff, Ken?
Yeah.
You only know about stealth systems.
You don't know shit about exobiology, and
I'm
you're going
sure-
to tell me about a Forbes CCY anti-radar defense unit?
Oh
They
my
crash.
Lord. Yeah.
For some reason.
Han always crashes. He crashes every.
Immediately scrapes the bottom of a rental on a mountain range.
For no reason. And you know Han didn't get insurance. He's like, that's a scam.
But like,
I mean,
not-
it is. Your
yeah.
insurance covers.
not
yeah,
a rock
Yeah.
on the bottom,
No,
a mountain range.
mountain ridge. Yep.
So they land and they're about to leave, and Ken's going. Luke's like, "Nope, you're staying here because
Yep.
you're supposed to be in school."
Yeah.
And then is this? Ken says, "I'm the one who knew it was a Forbes CCY anti-radar defense unit."
Who gives a
You
shit?
what?
me.
Do they
Yeah.
even use it?
No,
No, I think they do turn it on, but like,
they do.
I mean, I think it's just that's
no,
what.
because
Yeah,
when
they
the
use it because they say that they would have been seen right away if they hadn't had
Oh,
that.
whatever.
Sure. And then Leia's like, "I'll stay behind. And
Yeah, I'm not in this book
That's it.
really.
Yeah.
I'll help Chewie fly."
Luke, don't
It's-
forget your dream of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay.
Oh yeah, their destinies are intertwined.
There's a great line about dreams later.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then Leia says part of her training was flying Corellian Action 6 transports, exactly like the one they're flying
So
for
convenient.
Mercy missions.
Mercy mission.
Luke's a
Yeah.
huge dick again to 3PO. 3PO is like, "Oh, don't worry, I can stay behind." Don't you start, Luke silenced the droid. We need you with us.
Shut the fuck up, you stupid droid.
Dumb robot.
All right, chapter 7, the search for the secret cavern.
Spooky.
Yeah, so
They find it.
Grand Moff Hiss's Imperial Strike Cruiser, which is a different ship than the Moff ship, a different ship than
Yeah.
Scardia Voyager.
Yeah.
Lands on Duru on the hill on the other side of the valley. They docked at a toxic waste processing plant, which was spewing clouds of black ash. Now, did either of you have the same thought I did? Which is, why don't they call it Bash?
Bash, yeah.
And I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
well, that's silly. It's not like. Then I realized the other was Brow
Bra-
Haze. I'm like,
Braze.
no, it would be exactly as stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blash.
Blash. It would be exactly the same.
It should be Blash.
Blash.
But
But no.
Duros is filled with like precious metals that they need. So
Yes.
that's what they're mining there.
Yeah.
And they,
Uh-huh.
I guess
Uh-huh.
Dunium, right? They build stuff
Yeah,
out of
Dunium.
I
It's a
don't
Star
know.
Wars thing.
whatever.
And then they find out that Triclops has escaped.
Oh my
What?
god.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
he just
but
did it.
He was on Duro
They
at their
wanna
Imperial
recapture-
Reprogramming Institute.
yeah. So Jedgar reveals that the purpose of their mission is to recapture Triclops. I didn't even know if it was mentioned that they were going to Duro.
Not at all.
Yeah,
I don't think
They
so.
were just chasing the Falcon around.
they're just
Yeah.
there. Right? Yeah, they were like
I
shooting.
mean, it's
at
the same
them.
thing that's happened in every one of these books where they are all just coincidentally in the same
They're all running
place.
errands
I
to
know.
the same place.
It's funny because Han and the Falcon escape to Duro.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
the Imperial guys get on a different ship and go to Duro.
Yep.
Unrelated.
That's happened in every book. In every
Guess
single
so,
book,
yeah.
they have found themselves at the same place as the villains, but it's not because they're like tracking them or the villains are tracking them, whatever. Like it's always that there's some other thing happening. In the first one, it's that they're looking for Glove of Darth Vader, and they're and the rebels are with
Right.
Akbar doing looking for the whaling thing. In the
Yeah.
second one, they're looking for I guess they're both looking for the lost city of the Jedi, but
In
like,
that instance, they
But they
Kinda
also live there
unrelated,
already.
yeah.
the third one, they
Um,
just happen to be at Cloud City
Oh,
mining.
okay. Well, is Define the Defo alien still in charge of experimental section 2?
He is.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh.
He got promoted.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
The Grand Moff Hissa immediately trying to lay blame on the non-human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it that dog?
Was it that literal dog?
There is a silvery glint from King Cadlo Tower. It's the
Oh,
tallest
good.
structure.
Right. Got it.
know.
Is
I
that
thought you were
near
going to
the?
talk about the silvery glint from Ken's dome-shaped necklace.
Is that the near the monument of Duchess Ganir?
It is. It's right near there.
Cool.
And this is all. Where is this in relation to the statue of Queen Rana?
It's around there too.
Got
'cause
it.
He also
Okay.
sees
Like the
yeah.
mouth of Queen
Yeah.
Rana is
Yeah.
It's
important.
got her
Yeah.
mouth wide open.
Ah!
And then, yeah, they're looking. Triclops got
Yeah.
out.
Beatles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're stomping around. The rebels or
They
whatever
see
they
some
are.
giant Fefsa beetles.
Yeah. They
Guess
come
what? They
out
attack
at him,
uh,
and they get slaughtered.
brutally.
Ken,
Yeah.
It's like Starship Troopers.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I've
Ken
seen
is-
enough to know that.
Ken phrases some of the stuff really weird that threw me off. He keeps saying, "Look out in front of us."
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, you have to
Yeah,
understand
that-
this is a world where people have eyes in the back of their heads.
Right, right.
So
You got to
I-
specify.
that's
The f-
important.
The first, I think, attack. I highlighted this. Han aimed at the giant's insects' heads. Zap! Green fluid poured out of their bee-like eyes, and then as they
Bee-like
reared
eyes.
up, Han blasted their soft underbellies.
Yeah. And
Luke
Luke
slicing
slices
heads.
off the head of
Slice-
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he uses it as a springboard.
Yep,
Or
he
one
bounces
of
right
them.
off.
No, the next bug uses the body as a springboard.
He whacks the second giant insect in half. He
Yeah.
whacks it in half with his lightsaber.
Yeah.
But
so
then
lightsabers are cutting things now.
But then he cuts off the pincers of a third, slices off its antenna, and then zapped
Zapped
it
it.
right between the eyes. What does that mean? Does he
I
just
don't know.
press it into the middle of
I
its
think
forehead?
he might also just have a blaster
tap-
on him too. I don't know.
It doesn't mention anything.
No,
like
it
that.
doesn't. But
And then
I don't
Ken
know.
says, "Watch out up there."
"Yeah." One of them like gets its Luke's neck. And
Yeah,
its
he's got his pincers around his neck, and I'm like,
Yeah.
surely Ken's gonna like use the Force.
That's what I thought too. I was
Right?
like,
So,
"Oh, it's like
something cool.
It's like
You'd
Grogu
think so.
or whatever."
It's
when
like
he stops
Grungus.
the big thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Mudhorn.
No,
No.
but then
He
he
just-
grabs it,
He just
pulls it
pulls
apart.
it off. Yeah.
He just pulls this thing's pincers apart, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, DJ taught a strength conditioning class on upper body calisthenics.
Yep.
DJ taught me how to fight bugs.
Yeah.
At the Jedi
3PO's
Library.
pissed. He hates them. And Ken is pretty proud of him. He says, "Wow, I did it, Luke! I saved you." And Luke's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, all right, sure,
Whatever.
whatever,
Yeah.
man."
Thanks, Ken.
Yeah. And Han's like, "Great, put him to work. I don't need to be here."
Fef's beetles never grow this large.
Yeah.
They mutated from all the hazardous wastes on Duro. They're starving because all the creatures they usually eat are dying off.
There we go. There's
Ecology.
Yep.
So they end up in a tunnel, or they're already in a tunnel.
Yeah, they find
They
it. They
get-
get their C-beam strobe lamps
They get
out.
lost, and there's thick corrosive liquid drooping onto Luke's map.
Yeah, like alien blood.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
acid. It
Yeah.
just burns right through.
It is just called acid.
We'll get some
later.
more of that later.
Yeah,
It's an odor. It's
yeah.
an odorous glue-like substance too.
It's the stuff. It's the
and that's
soup.
the floor of the
It's
tunnel.
the
sorry.
soup from Roger Rabbit
Yeah.
that the judge
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah, the what was it
Horseshoe.
called?
Luke it
Oh.
doesn't
Dip.
dip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke took a whiff of the puddle.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. They hear a pub-um, and I don't remember what that is.
Then this is my. They don't say, but it has one of my favorite sentence from this book is
Yes.
the tunnel trembled as if struck by a huge tremor.
Yes. Yeah.
I've got that highlighted here.
I know they mean earthquake.
Yeah.
That's what they're using a synonym, I guess. But trembled
They
and
love
tremor use the same root word.
Yeah.
The trem. That
Yeah. It's a little weird.
It trembled. It
yeah.
trembled
Struck
as
by a
if
huge tremble.
struck by a tremor.
Yeah,
What
right.
the
Which it was
fuck?
struck by a
Yeah,
tremor.
that's
It
exactly
wasn't-
what happened.
Yeah.
There were like
It's
earthquakes
trembling
on this
because
planet.
of the tremor.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's like saying he was hungry as if he was struck by a hunger.
Yep.
Yeah, they detect ultra high frequency sound that are like it's like fake rocks.
Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
the second time that Luke's ready to open fire blindly.
Oh yeah. Ready
Gets
to
a
go.
lightsaber, he burns through the rock and exposes a lock mechanism.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
Huh.
And it says squee. They find themselves staring into the face of a tall, thin man dressed in a gray uniform of an imperial prisoner. His long white hair stuck out in all directions. He had scorch marks on his temples as if he had been burned by laser or electricity. Next to the man was
An assassin droid.
Oh my God.
No, don't worry though. His violence program has been destroyed.
Luke just says, "I'm gonna kill you."
oh yeah, he threatens the assassin droid.
Yeah, he's like, if you do anything, you're fucking toast.
Yeah.
Fry
Yeah.
your circuits.
He makes 3PO open up this droid in front of him.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, "He's harmless." And but this droid never gets a name. Assassin's droid is never capitalized.
Even in like there's the characters thing in the beginning of the book, it's just assassin droid.
Oh, so
It's
Yeah,
kind of
it's like-
dopey looking too.
Oh, I thought it would be like a IG.
Yeah, like kind
no.
of
it looks
spindly
like
and cool.
It looks like the Futurama robot from All My Circuits.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So why don't you read this next
Oh,
paragraph
Jesus
about
Christ.
Luke says he's a Jedi Knight with the Alliance.
Yeah, you want me to read it?
Read it.
Okay.
Deliver this
Then
message.
you believe in the Force, the white-haired man said. I once knew a woman who lived by the ways of the Force. Her name was Kendalina, with bright gray eyes. The man paused, looking directly at Ken. he seemed as though he wanted to say something more, but then decided not to.
Damn, who could this be?
What happened to Kendalina?
And then he says the Empire
Destroyed her.
Yeah, discovered
all-
she was
yeah.
a Jedi, destroyed her.
I accidentally skipped a page, so I read 3PO saying, harmless, quite harmless. Its circuits that control aggression have been damaged. And then I saw the next line, which was, what happened to Kendalina? I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, so they meet Triclops. He talks
Yeah.
about Delphine, the interrogator.
It brings me no joy to say that I fell for Imperial propaganda. I
Uh-oh.
assumed he was an evil, crazy guy.
I mean, he is insane.
Yeah, I think he is.
He's
somewhat
insane for
insane,
believing in
yeah.
pacifism.
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah.
That's what's fucked
That's
up.
kind of what they allude to. That,
Yeah.
But he will do like a Ra's al Ghul style thing where he's like, I don't want to kill you, but I want to save you.
Yeah, he tells him about his 3 eyes,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Whoa, it's Triclops!"
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. He's got long white hair, but he can point to an eye on the back of his head.
As
Yeah.
they've told us in most of these books, he's been imprisoned or like hidden away at reprogramming institutes and stuff. For
Yeah, he
most
was
of
on
his
Kessel
life,
for a while.
'cause he's insane. But
So
yeah, he was on Kessel.
tell us about Kessel. What
where,
happened? On
where he
Kessel?
knew Trioculus.
Oh my god,
cool.
Yeah,
that's
he was-
crazy. We know Triac.
2 guys
So-
with 3 eyes.
So when Triclops
Right.
was a patient in the Imperial insane asylum, he says he used to whip me for some reason, even though he's a slave master and not an
Right.
but
Did Trioculus just go whip patients
I
at,
think so,
at
yeah.
the mental hospital?
it's like how
at the Baltimore home for the criminally insane?
Yeah.
Yeah, they get
So-
a phone call like, Trioculus is coming in today.
Fuck. And with every lash
He's
of the
gonna whip
whip,
the prisoners.
with every lash of the whip, he swore that one day he would assume my identity once Palpatine died. He would convince the entire galaxy that he was the Emperor's true three-eyed son. Then he would take over as ruler of the Empire. Why do you need 3 eyes?
Palpatine's my daddy.
It's a secret. Yeah. I'm gonna steal your identity once Palpatine dies.
I'm gonna steal
Show
your
us
identity.
your identity.
Yeah.
It's
He
with
said
every
every time
lash.
he whipped it, every lash, I'm gonna steal your identity as Palpatine's son. It's also the prophecies which we've been told can be lies.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
can't
Which are
Kadon just have
artificial.
another prophecy?
He
Or-
can make up whatever
it
he
doesn't
wants.
matter.
He just has a lot of resources.
And then he looks at the silvery crystal that Ken wears around his neck. He says, "Who gave this to you?"
Yeah, her name was Kendalina. Stares at Ken.
Yeah.
Ken. I don't know. I've had it ever since Obi-Wan Kenobi or someone dropped me off.
Yeah, probably Ben Kenobi, my
Ben
real father.
Kenobi.
Yep.
Anyway, they
Um,
used shock therapy on him, but lightning bolts with energy from the dark side never conquered him.
Weird.
Fuck is energy from the dark side?
It was like force lightning.
Doesn't a
or
guy
something.
have to do it?
I don't know.
So Triops, he closes all 3 of his eyes and began rubbing his temples. And he opened his eyes and said, so it's archaeologists you want, is it? Come, I will lead you.
Right.
So many
Okay.
commas.
Yeah.
So,
Luke distrusts him, thinks it's gonna be a trap.
Yep.
hey, fair, you know. And then he says, "Hey, bitch, what about the Force? You can consult the Force, and it'll
Just
tell you if
check.
I'm about to lie."
Yep.
Which, like, Luke should do that more often. Also, like, this is crazy because Triclops is like, "Yeah, I escaped from prison and then got lost, but I
Yeah.
do know where the archaeologists
Yes.
are
Yeah.
who do know how to get
Oh.
out of here." Like, and I guess he's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna find my own way."
This is so they find the archaeologists.
They
see
do.
them.
They do that.
This is my
yes.
favorite part of the book. Is no one's seen them yet, and Luke comes around the corner and just goes, "Greetings from Spin."
Just greetings from Spin.
He's such a
the
dork.
first thing he
Popped up
says.
from behind a boulder.
Greetings from Spin, he shouted, stepping out from behind a boulder.
So I imagine these guys are like, "Jesus fucking Christ!"
Don't be frightened. Destiny sent us to rescue
Yeah,
you.
don't be scared.
They're
He's
wanted by the
paralyzed.
state. They
I know.
are bringing out probably cart after cart of crowns that can stab them in the head.
Yep. So Duro hugs Han. He says, "Easy does it. I'm a Corellian, and we Corellians gave up hugging strangers 4 centuries
Yeah.
ago."
That's
that-
not how we do things where I come from, okay?
That got a big old highlight from me, and
Yeah.
I made
Oh,
the
yeah.
note. What?
Remember that Ewok hugs him, and he's like, "It's what I've always wanted."
Yeah.
He talks about it like talking about the neighborhood. Like, you know, we
Yeah.
didn't do things like this back in the neighborhood.
Corellians
It's
haven't been
definitely-
hugging for 400 years.
It's,
It's so
definitely got a
specific-
hint of like, whoa, I'm not gay.
I'm not gay for Duros.
Yeah.
But the 4 centuries thing, it's so specific that it makes me think that it's a real fact. Like,
Yeah.
we actually
Sure.
we'll hug each other,
gave
but
it
not
up.
strangers.
Yeah. So they meet Dustangle,
I'm Dustangle.
cousin of Destiny, but they're more like brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're not. They're cousins.
They're
They
like,
are
we need to rescue all these relics that could kill us at a moment's notice.
Yeah, they just want to keep relics out of the hands of Kadon. They've got a transport. They want to load it up on the Corellian Action 6.
Yeah, they
All their
got
treasures.
anti-gravity carts.
Sure do.
I guess that can go
Even
upstairs. So
C-3PO
don't worry.
pitched in to help.
Yeah.
There's a line here that says, even C-3PO pitched in.
Good
The
for him.
assassin droid also helps. The
Yes.
droid has been
Yeah.
lobotomized, has no name, and will soon be obliterated.
But it's funny, they're like, Triclops and the assassin droid helped, but even C-3PO did. An assassin droid was helping.
Yeah.
But even so, C-3PO decided to help out.
Wow.
He's
He's
not
less
very
helpful than
mobile.
an assassin
He's not,
droid.
he's very stiff. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it's just you're right.
He's got those like little pistons on his elbows that don't let him
He
straighten his
just got a
arms.
lube job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freshly lubed.
Here's something important though. They can this fucking dopey klutz
Knocks over another box.
Stupid
knocks over
asshole.
another box, and one of the aliens is like, "Hey, Han, you're Corellian. Do you want this Corellian ring that the Queen's friend had?
Why do they
Who was a
know-
Corellian
One
princess.
day, maybe you'll get married."
They know he's Corellian because he's like, hey, don't touch me. I'm Corellian.
Corellian, yeah.
We don't touch.
Does anyone want the Corellian leftovers from my housewarming party?
Yeah.
which was either one day or 5 years ago.
The
Yeah.
bitch at the top of my to marry list isn't like it.
So Dust Dangle's like, this is like a Corellian wedding ring. And he's like, I don't want to get married.
Yep.
I just decided I don't really want to get married, but I'll take it. But who
What
knows?
the hell? Sure, I'll take it.
I rethought my marriage ideas when a septopus came up to me,
Yep.
and I had a small argument with
My
my
convictions are
maybe
weak.
wife.
It says he pocketed the ring thoughtfully.
And winked. He
Yeah.
winked.
He
too,
winked and then he
for some reason.
slides it
It's
into
like they
his
just gave
pocket.
it to you, you idiot.
Should we read some Deafin lines?
Yeah, let's get
None
to
of it's
some
really that
Deafin.
important. Basically, like they're in the cavern and then Defin the Deafin.
Yeah. Define the deafened.
Speak.
You will speak.
He's torturing a Duro. Who's
Yeah.
Probably named like Dustin.
Yeah.
And he says, everything. You will tell me everything. And then Dustin says no, and he says, all right, I guess I'll probe the truth centers of your brain.
Yeah, which he
Yep.
does.
And it
Puts
works.
two
Two
needles in
needles.
there.
It works immediately.
Yep. Just
So, like-
finds the truth.
And then they pull out a xenomach.
Yeah. Turns out it's in
it's-
Queen Rana's face.
Yeah, 17 paces to the left of the face, which is the
I don't know.
statue
I don't
above
know.
ground.
Is
I
it like
guess.
a head?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. 15 standard units below the ground, which I thought that was time units, but whatever. He says, okay. And then they drill in, and I'm like, oh, are the people below ground going to notice? No, it's just as they drill down there, then a fight starts.
Yeah.
Well,
They
without-
drill down and they're right there.
Without delay, the Imperials moved a powerful device resembling a giant drill.
It looks like a
Oh.
drill.
So it's
Right.
not a
Not
a
drill,
drill.
it's a xenomach.
Yeah.
It
which is a drill.
Yeah, it's a drill. Well, yeah.
I don't know why they can't just say
It also unexpectedly sets off forceful ground tremors. It was a large
right.
quake that reached 77.88 on the Imperial quake scale.
that's right.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Big
Yeah.
one, I guess.
Still use the Imperial
I don't know if
system.
that's big.
Yeah. They use the Imperial system here, as with all.
Then they explain to us what ladder technology is capable of.
Yep.
High Prophet Jedgar, who's there, I guess,
Yeah, why not?
grabbed hold
sparkly
of one
robe.
of the ladders attached to a flex mount. The flex mount instantly lowered
Twistable
twistable ladders
ladders.
into a deep hole, allowing
that
entry
mean?
into otherwise inaccessible areas.
Yeah, it's a ladder.
That's what
A
ladders
ladder.
do, Paul.
But it twists. This is a
I
twisty
guess
ladder.
it twists like DNA.
So they jump down there, and then Luke Han, the duo archaeologist, counterattacked, and a battle ensued.
Yeah, battle happens.
A battle happens.
Grandma Hissa puts a gun to Ken's chin.
Yes.
Not his head, his chin. I'll shoot your fucking chin off.
Oh, he does see. He sees
Gnashing his pointed teeth.
the Jedi Prince wearing a dome-shaped birthstone.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wrote obligatory dome shape mention. And Hiss is a boy stealer. He's one of those
Yeah.
alien
Yeah.
boy
Yeah,
sailors.
Jedgar's like, take that boy, Hissa.
Yeah, Jedgar wondered whether this was the Jedi Prince whom Trioculus had failed to find and destroy. According to legend,
Oh,
the
my
Jedi
lord.
Prince wore a dome-shaped birthstone on a necklace chain, and he had worn it all his life ever since the boy was taken to the lost city of the Jedi to be raised by droids. That's the
thank
paragraph
you.
after a battle ensued.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Grandma Hissa clutches Ken. He just grabs him, and Jedgar's like, you did it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Luke comes at him, and he says, I'll fucking kill him!
Yeah.
I'll do it!
Yeah, they have a little standoff, makes Skywalker surrender.
Yeah, prepare to meet your join your master,
Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan
Kenobi,
Kenobi.
and the world
Thanks
beyond.
for naming him.
And then, good news, Ken sees Triclops glancing out from behind a boulder, looking intently and nodding. Have you seen the Tim and Eric I Don't Want Spaghetti Again song?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at the
I don't
end,
think
the
so.
guy from the beginning puts his head out
Yeah.
from behind a wall, and that's how I'm picturing just like
Yeah.
kind of like this sneer and like
Mhm.
smile.
So this is kind of a weird thing.
He looks and nods. Yeah,
So
go ahead.
Triclops suddenly turns his head around and stared at Grand Moff Hissa with the eye on the back of his skull. An incredibly strong magnetic force seemed to flow out of Triclops' third eye as a power beam tugged at Hissa.
Is it hypnotic? Is it
it like a
magnetic? Is it
tractor
just
beam?
a power beam?
know.
This is described
Don't
as a
know.
power
Does
beam.
Hissa have enough metal on him? Also, it's so funny that he has to turn around.
Yeah.
You
to
won't let
use
a
it.
pacifist live in peace, Triclops scolded sternly. You're,
You're
forcing
forcing-
me to abandon my principles. Rum.
Oh yeah, he has Hissa by the throat.
Yeah.
He pulls him towards him with his
grabs him
eye
at the
power.
throat.
So he pulls him with his eye, spins around, and grabs
Yeah,
him.
it's a pretty complex maneuver to like. He's turned around, I guess, just pulling with his eye, and then has to spin around and grab
Yeah.
him before Hissa falls down.
And another tremor strikes, and everything that happens here,
Crack!
everything that we
Yeah.
suffer through is worth it for what happens next.
Yes.
This shit is crazy.
It's
So
crazy.
the lake of sludge, or the dam
The
gets
acid
destroyed.
sludge.
The lake of acid sludge, like pours into, I don't know, wherever they are.
Yeah, the hole.
They're in the
They're in a
hole
hole.
that the Xenomach
You know what?
made.
I could just read this paragraph
Yeah.
about what happens here.
Yeah, go ahead.
As the gooey, hazardous liquids poured into the hole, Triclops released his grip on Hissa. Grand Moff crumpled onto the ground, and Triclops retreated from his victim. With the eye in the back of his head, Triclops saw that Grand Moff Hissa, now screaming and grasping for help, lay directly in the path of the bubbling, burning liquid.
Which
Acid flowed over Grand Moff Hissa's legs. Hissa
Yep.
thrashed helplessly, tried to remove himself from the path of the dangerous chemicals. Arg! The Grand Moff screamed, "Help, Jedgar, help!" Hissa tried to prop himself up, but his arms slid right into the toxic chemicals. Grand Moff Hissa's arms began to melt. Don't
Ay,
leave me
ay,
here
ay.
to die. So Hissa fucking loses all his limbs.
Yep.
in
crazy.
acid.
They do what they do to Darth Vader.
Yeah, but
It's-
somehow worse.
And before.
Yeah, his limbs melt off as he screams for Jedgar to save him.
He is melted alive
Yeah.
by
Grand-
acid. And he
Grand Moff's-
wasn't even working on this planet. He
No.
just was brought here.
Grand Moff's head, chest, and waist still twisted and writhed on the cavern floor.
And then it makes, High Prophet Jedgar was more concerned about saving his own life rather than in assisting what little was left of Grand
Oh,
Moff
yeah.
Hissa.
This
That's
is so
fucking
gruesome.
dark, and it happened so quickly.
Oh, and then the assassin droid dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. This poor droid, it just
Gets
Well,
shot.
I never
just
named him,
out
I
of
guess.
nowhere gets shot by a portable laser cannon. His metal parts shatter, hurled everywhere from the cavern ceiling to the craggy floor. Are they embedded in the rock? In the ceiling? It's crazy. Just like,
I don't
I
know.
have learned mercy.
Yeah.
Must have been like a hell of a shot.
Also, it's crazy that Hissa's limbs are in an instant burned off
Into
of him
goo.
and melted, but his torso and head, like his cognitive abilities, are like left to be done much more slowly, so he
Yep.
can like anguish helplessly.
So he's just a torso and a
And
head
I'm
laying
reading
there.
this and I'm like, surely Ken, the Jedi Prince, will not stoop to the depths of the Empire. He will exercise mercy.
Yeah, like
You
a
know,
Jedi would.
Or even Triclops, who's like a pacifist, I guess, which is the Ra's al Ghul
Yeah.
thing I was
But,
saying. But
They hop on anti-gravity carts.
Yeah, they leave.
Zip on
Yep.
out of there.
It's crazy. Also, it's just like acid, just gooping. It's not even lava.
Yeah.
That is so grim.
It's really violent.
Can we talk about Triclops' dream?
Yeah, we could talk
Yeah,
about it. Yeah, they
yeah.
escape. They escape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Han
get to the
says,
thing.
Han says, I've got a really bad feeling about this, but it actually turns out fine.
Yeah.
He
there's
says it
nothing to
about
be
the
worried about,
septipus at the pool resort, and then again when everything's fine.
Yeah, and they're flying away, and Leia says, Han and I will out-navigate Chewie. You're not a good
Yeah,
co-pilot.
she's
anyway."
got something to
Fuck
prove.
I think Han still doesn't believe how well I could fly a Corellian Action 6 transport spaceship. Shall I show him? Then Chewie says, "Grow arf."
Which I haven't seen any mention of the Forbes CCY anti whatever the fuck.
Hasn't come
I
up
don't
since
think,
then.
I think it's just Han saying, "Yeah, I knew that this was the one I had to rent when I saw it had OnStar."
So they fill it up. It says, "Never had a Corellian Action 6 transport been so packed from the cargo hold all the way to the passenger
Never
lounge."
had a cargo transport been so packed.
Weird.
know.
Oh yeah, then let's hear about Triclops' dream, shall we?
Yeah, he's all three of his eyes are closing.
Mm-hmm. He says that if the day ever comes that he sits upon the Imperial throne, he'll force the Empire to pay for what it did to Duro. He'll take it apart, brigade by brigade. It's something about an army until Darkseid's powerless. That's a nice dream, Luke said.
My dreams shall become real.
Yeah,
Cyclops
that
replied.
line is crazy. It's like something that someone on a subway or bus would say to you,
Yeah.
and it's like, I had a dream that the Empire will be dismantled. And it's like, that's really nice. And it says, it will become real.
Yeah, and he falls asleep. They go back to Drapak.
Luke says, sure.
And
Yeah.
how about this? Dustini's okay.
Yeah, he's just walking around.
Yay, They did it. They cured him.
He's probably would have got like big bandages around his head. And, and,
Puts the crown back on.
yep. And how about this?
Fuck.
Who fucking shows up but Chip?
Yeah, to just
Putting his hands
Being
on his
into Ken.
metallic hips.
we
His
know he's a
hip-shaped
droid.
hips.
I don't want to think about a boy droid's hips.
I
See
know.
that our truant student has finally returned to start school at Daobot Tech. Fuck you, Chip.
Narc.
He says it was an accident. And
Yeah.
Chip doesn't even believe him.
Anyway, there's a lot that's happened, and Ken's got a lot to think about. The prophecy, most of it's come true, and now there's question of the final days of the
Dragon
Rebel
Pack.
Alliance.
Oh yeah, because the visitor pierced by
I
gold.
know, yeah, and now
Oh.
they've found a pacifist who wants to destroy his father's empire. But it's all too troublesome for a boy of 12 to dwell on, especially when Leia distracted him by reaching over and mussing up his moppy brown hair.
Thinks about his adventures.
you.
What? Read the last line of this book, somebody, please.
Starting where?
It's the paragraph right
Ken and
after.
Leia?
Yeah.
Ken and Leia both grinned, breaking into wide smiles at the same instant. It was a good feeling, Ken thought, to be back with all his friends from Spin, sheltered at the mountaintop fortress on the planet that the wise Jedi Master Yoda once called home. It was a good feeling indeed. What do you
It's a
mean
good
back
feeling
with his friends?
indeed.
You've been with his friends the whole fucking time.
You mean
No,
Chip?
like
Yeah.
Chip was there.
Just Chip.
Chip
It's the
and
only
Mon
one who wasn't
Mothma?
there.
Dustini?
You're not friends with these people?
So
they
stupid.
wanted you to stay here and go to school.
They're
This
way
one-
also they're like way older than you.
Listen, we get Triclops. Oh,
Yeah.
and there's the power beam.
It's so funny that he has to look away to do anything.
Yeah, he has to spin around to
Yeah,
look at
I
the
know.
wall every time.
It's like when there's been I've seen multiple spoofs of Spider-Man where they like shoot the webbing out of their ass.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like what this reminds me of.
Oh, that's awesome. It's Hissa fucking burning alive in acid.
Yeah, he
That's so
really
sick.
gets it.
Jedgar, help me, please.
Trioculus is
Look at Triclops.
he's so scary.
He's looking on
Ugh.
in disdain.
Trioculus wakes up in a different carbonite thing. He says, "Where is Grandma Hissa? Is he safe?"
He looks like he looks
all
like
right?
Morpheus from Sandman. That's what he looks like.
Anyway, that
Okay.
was Mission from Mount Yoda, which it doesn't. What is the base? Dry Pack is on Mount Yoda. Is that why?
Yeah, it's at that peak.
Yeah.
Isn't the mission from
Mount
shouldn't it be
Yoda.
called
The
Mission
mission
from
is-
Destiny?
No, yes.
Like it's technically
Mission
their-
from Destiny on Mount Yoda, maybe, or
Yeah.
Mission from Destiny
Mission
from Mount
By
Yoda.
way of Destiny.
Yeah,
Mission
yeah.
from Kadan by
Mission
way of
from a-
Destiny
Yeah.
on Mount Yoda.
Mission from a calf.
Stupid.
What?
All right,
From a
well-
septicus.
Dragon Pack.
Dragon Pack.
I cannot believe that was too stupid. It was like the code was so
I'm glad that
simple.
we
know.
got your reaction live.
I can't
the
believe
Dragon
that.
Pack
I
on
can't
Yoda's
believe
back.
that. I thought that was it like a snow pack or was like the pack that they had all of the stuff in with the golden knife, a pack
Uh-huh.
made of dragon skin, whatever.
Well, next one, Queen of the Empire, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward
Which
to
got
that.
some proper nouns in it that you will recognize.
Ooh.
And be very excited about.
Okay.
Decoy,
Some
Ganook.
locations, yeah. Project Decoy, Ganooks, yeah. Maybe even a Mooka or two.
Stupid Ganooks.
Dump a nuke.
There's some good shit coming. though.
All right, folks. May you wake up to the kish of a Mooka.
Yep.
And may feelings be good indeed.
And the purr of a Corellian Action 6 transport.
And may you have the 9 lives of a Kowakian lizard monkey that has 9 lives.
Yes.
And make sure to read lease paperwork.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
See
I've
ya.
got a bad feeling about this.